everybody, and welcome to Open for Adventure, where we will be running a one-shot today in the homebrew world of Eatios. For those of you who are new and who have never played an Eatios before, it is a desert continent elevated above the ocean. And what happens often is planes, elemental planes, any planes of existence just kind of like pop down and cause a little chaos, uncover ruins beneath the sand, and sometimes bring their own. I am Mare, and I will be your dungeon master for the day. We'll do a quick introduction, and then we'll hop right in. Nanette, Graham.
Hi, I'm Graham. I'm reprising my role as Nanette, the Tabaxi sorcerer monk, and I am here because they are paying me to do so.
Hi, I'm Rob. I play Bayul Greytuss. I'm a Loxodon necromancer. Love of all furry creatures, and I'm here to help as much as possible to figure out what's going on.
Hello, my name is Anik. I will be playing Evan Bembridge, a gnome, very old school artificer. By that I mean we didn't take the Eberron version. We're going old UA playtest for reasons. I've never played an Eatios before, so we'll see how it goes. I have very valid reasons to be everywhere I am.
I am Taldaz. I will be playing Izzy Ironchest, a lovely young half-orc bardy boy who just really wants to bring smiles to everyone's face and make sure that the world's a better place by the end of the day, you know? I mean, sometimes it's just really scary out there sometimes. And I'm kind of here because I have a friend who is just involved with this kind of stuff, and I just want to keep them safe and make sure that they don't try and summon any evil deities or anything.
1 second. Rob, say something?
Something? Lots of something.
Okay. Closed captions are good.
Okay.
Speaking of our lovely Barty boy, Izzy boy, we will be starting with Izzy, starting in the office of a very good friend of his, a copper dragonborn named Rathir. Her office is cluttered, but it's an organized cluttered, and she is currently sitting behind her desk, piles of books and stacks of papers. You know she works for the university as an archaeologist, and you're here to say hello, goodbye, question mark, but she's currently writing a letter.
I'm going to rap quietly at the door as I enter.
As soon as you enter, her face brightens. Oh, Izzy! She'll immediately stand up and walk over to you.
I before I leave for the thing, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some stuff, and I just wanted to know if you had a little bit of time, like 2 minutes maybe-ish, kind of?
Yes, of course. And once again, thank you so much. And as you're like talking, she's like fixing up your vest and making sure it's straight and not dirty and just like brushing stuff off. Yes, of course. I always have time for my best friend.
I just wanted to make sure that you weren't gonna do anything really kind of careless while I was gone because of the whole thing back at the other ruins place, and I wanted to make sure you were okay. And are you okay? Will you be okay while I'm gone?
Yes, I will be staying at the university for a bit. They didn't want me going out. Inalis kind of took the spot that I was gunning for this expedition, and they told me I had to stay and was not allowed to follow. So I will be here upon your return. Do not worry.
I'm really glad to hear that. I wish you were coming. I'm gonna miss you a lot because I know you really like to go on these kind of things and look at all of the old things and find out the truth behind the stories that I've heard. But I just want to make sure that you're going to be okay. And when I get back, I kind of have a thing to tell you. It's not that important really, but I just really need to tell you a thing when I get back, if that's okay.
Of course, I'll be waiting. Don't worry.
Okay.
She'll tug your vest a little more. I give you a big hug.
Yeah, hugs. I'm gonna go now. I need to make sure that that my tiny hut's ready.
And as you leave, your eyes open a bit because we are transitioning into you waking up in the carriage of the Greyhound Express. It is a private carriage hired by the lead of this expedition, and you see 3 other people in this car with you. You left several days ago, and you are in the process of heading to the ruins. And because I forgot to ask, do you want to describe what Izzy looks like as he wakes up?
Yeah. So Izzy generally has really messy hair, so it's hard to determine whether or not he has bedhead or not. But he keeps it somewhat short on the sides, but it's extremely messy on top. He's got only a very slight kind of overbite from some of his orcish features. He's got these brilliant kind of amberish eyes and a dark turquoise greenish skin that doesn't match many half orcs of his age. It's a little bit darker than usual, and certainly more leaning towards the blue spectrum of skin tone. He stands really tall for his age. He's only about like the human equivalent of like 19-ish, 18-ish, and he's about 6'1"ish. He's got some beef to him, but not a lot. He's mostly like a toned kind of like a marathon runner kind of physique versus like big honkin' punch boy. But he has some really simple pants. He's got a leather vest with some fur trimmings around the side, and a short undershirt that kind of has. Sometimes you can see the sleeve poke out from under the vest, but not really. And he's just got a very plain belt. Most of his clothes seem really ragged and torn through use rather than abuse. And he's got a little bag that he carries at his side. That's a very, very basic, almost like a burlap sack versus anything else.
And in this car with you are 3 other figures. One is an elf, and then we have a tabaxi and a large loxodon, an elephant-type creature. Bayul, would you like to describe yourself and introduce yourself?
Sure. Probably the tallest of the group, about 7 feet tall, an albino, woolly mammoth-style loxodon. Long white hair, usually pulled up into a small ponytail in the back just to keep it out of my face. The long tusks have runes carved into them. Very plain, whitish gray clothes. You'll see a small tome tucked into my side, like a little leather satchel, and I guess you would say utility belt with various pouches and pockets for more spell equipment. But very deep red eyes, and you see him walking, or when he's walking, he has a staff that looks like it's mostly comprised of what could be a spinal column. And oftentimes folks see him talking to himself. And recently you see him as we're riding along on the cart. I would first see myself towards the end due to my large size. I have a little sugar glider. Her name is Nova. She likes to come out and run around and look at all my tusks and come up on the top of my head. And then every once in a while as we're going, I'll cast Mage Hand and kind of use her, like she holds onto it and she like kind of glides behind the cart.
It's actually not a cart. It's actually a covered carriage, which is a little bigger. It's a little bigger on the inside, so there is enough than it is on the outside, and everyone can fit.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think every once in a while you just see it just outside. You just see her kind of holding on to a spectral hand, just kind of gliding along, and then flies right back in.
Nanette.
Nanette is a stark black-furred tabaxi. She is lithe and a little bit smaller than your normal tabaxi, about 5'7". She has vibrant emerald eyes that stand out from the sleek black fur. She has 3 spears that are Yigglwas, that are like a broad-bladed spear. And this carriage ride, she has been very quiet. probably taking up a little bit too much space than she needs. And she is probably eyeing the sugar glider with a little bit of a hungry expression.
The final passenger in this car is a high elf. He is very short, as he's only about 5'3", because we got to get that short elf theory in here. He has long black hair in a braid falling off of his shoulder, his robes. You would have noticed all would have noticed in the couple days you have been traveling together. He is wearing armor. He's occasionally reading a book or looking out the window, and has really not been talking to any of you. It's mostly looking out the window or keeping to himself, and really only answers questions when asked. Ninette and Bayul, you both recognize him and know him a little bit more than Izzy, but this is Professor Inalis. He is a professor at the university, and he teaches a variety of subjects. He kind of tends to be a substitute teacher. He's very knowledgeable, and he kind of pushed his way into going on this expedition. Usually regular professors don't go on expeditions, but he was very intrigued on this. Izzy, you do know him, not intimately, but more so because Rathir told you about him. How do these couple days, as this cart pulled by large draft horse, like Clydesdale-sized greyhounds, pull this cart along towards your destination?
And we're all in the same carriage together, right?
Except for Evan.
Except for Evan. I think after the first day or so, I would lean over towards Izzy. Hello. Nanette is wondering if this is your first time out? Only because I have not seen you before.
Hi. I guess. I kind of travel a lot, but I tend to stick to smaller places, and I don't really have much money to take the express or anything like that. My name's Izzy. How are you doing today?
I am Nanette is doing exceptionally wonderful, and I get a little bit closer. Oh, you do not have any money? That is so sad. Nanette is only here for the money, because Nanette is going to buy a boat. Do you like boats?
You're gonna buy a boat for the desert? That's a little odd, but okay.
Nanette is going to buy a boat, and then Nanette is going to find somebody to enchant it to fly.
Oh, a flying boat. Okay. Well, that's really kind of neat. I've heard some stories about those. Not many. A lot of people don't really write stories about those. There was one story that I really liked. That was about one, but it never got finished, and I think the author might have died.
Did you write it?
I don't think so. I'm still alive.
That is good. I was wondering, sometimes people lie and say that when they don't want to finish something, or maybe they start something and they forget about it, or they put it on a shelf and then they say, Nanette, don't throw that away, you will go back to it. And then they throw it away, and then they lie and say, oh, someone else did that.
Why would people lie about that? That's mean.
You all hear a large sigh and a rolling of eyes from Professor Inalis as he opens a book and begins thumbing through it, trying to ignore your conversation.
So since I'm up close, Nanette is kind of wearing just a regular tunic, but she does have a golden ruby-encrusted necklace and a silver ring on her left paw that has a little shield emblem on it. But then I will go look to the Loxodon, who seems very quiet, but then I will go torture them with my company.
No worries. I'm sitting kind of just off to the side. I'm just kind of you just see the sugar glider in one hand, and it poofs into the other one. It just bounces kind of back and forth. And I'm just enjoying, just giving it little scoochies, just kind of sticking to my own. But I hear the conversation. And I say it would be a travesty if any book were to not be finished or be thrown away. And that's all I say.
Nanette does not understand why people like books so much.
Well,
The
they hold
professors are-
knowledge.
But the professor's always like, Nanette, read this arcane book. You will learn spells. Nanette does not learn spells from reading book. Nanette does spells from casting spells. Nanette does not understand why they want you to read.
I wish I had your ability. I've never been able to do that. I applaud your ability to do so. I have to learn everything from scratch.
Reading is a lot of fun. You can learn a lot from stories and stuff. I learned how to help people through reading some stories about heroes and stuff. Do any of you like stories about heroes?
Are they interesting stories?
Well, they're about heroes, so why wouldn't they be?
Stories about heroes are not going to help us in this exploration. This is Inalis speaking. Since we are about a couple hours off, I probably should let you all know that your assistance is appreciated but unnecessary. So please, as we get there, do not get in my way.
Will there be fishes?
He does not answer you.
You seem a little grumpy, Professor. Do you want a nice song? I can cheer
No.
you up, make you smile. No. I've got my ukulele.
Nanette could punch something.
That punching is mean.
You all hear a little bit of grumbling. Why? Why couldn't I just go alone?
I look over to him and I say, look, I'm with you. I want to find answers. I will assist as much as possible, but do understand we're here to help. That's all we want to do.
At least you
Can
have
I-
common sense.
Can I pat the elf on the shoulder? Because I will be like, it is okay. They probably sent us because you are only a substitute teacher and not a real one.
I am a substitute because I actually do work that contributes to the university.
Just
my
goes
spare
straight
time.
over Nanette's hand, just like this flat expression, like, uh-huh.
As you all argue a little bit, we're going to shift our attention to Evan. Evan, would you like to... What are you doing right now, and would you like to describe and introduce yourself?
Evan is currently just so fucking bored. If you were to look at him right now, you probably wouldn't notice Evan instantly, because the first thing you'd see is a large, and I do mean the size category, large construct of a palace cat. Currently being a perfect little cat loaf, all footsies tucked in, laying in the sand as we wait for our new best friends who will be arriving shortly. Evan himself is a cute little gnome, is wearing the very typical exploration outfit of the linen pants and the leather coverings. Nice bag, more tool sets than you probably need in a lifetime, and yet he always uses all of them somehow. Attached to the palace cat, whose name Kenzie, is a little platform for him to stand on so he can ride through the sands on Kenzie, with a telescoping parasol against the sun. So I think as I'm waiting, I'm probably just making some tiny little trinket, maybe making some adjustments to Kenzie's paws so she's more suited to the sand.
So, a couple days ago, you got a letter by Carrier Bird. It was from your very good friend at the university, Rathier.
He has just as much sense as I do.
That's right. It basically started off with like, "Hi Evan, it's Rathier. I hope all is well. Next time you're in Vumalor, we should totally get together and catch up. I know this great dive called Patrick's Place. They have great food. I also want you to meet my best friend Izzy. He's a sweetheart. But anyway, I'm not messaging you because I do want to see you, but you know that thing. I'm sure you noticed it with being the things that you do and all, like with the plane warped woods a couple weeks ago, like a big like thing jumped into the wards of the woods, and basically, actually a couple students got caught up in it, were transported to the plane of wood, but that's neither here or there. But it broke some wards on some ruins to the north of the woods. Can you believe it? But yeah, the diviners at the university say it's some kind of spire, and they think there might be a lot of valuable information there. Unfortunately, I can't make it. I was supposed to go, but Professor Analis, do you remember him? Pushed his way into my spot, so I'm kind of stuck at the university. Could you meet the group that's going to investigate and send me back some information? Analis' notes are always so dry, and I'm kind of not looking forward to reading them. The group is Analis, a tabaxi named Nanette, a loxodon named Bayul, and my best friend Izzy, a half-orc who looks like he's scared of bugs. Rithier. XOXOXO.
Evan would have told Kenzie to pack the bags. We have a mission. Evan likes to go on digs and expeditions, but, making sure that they're official and people are going with you and the universities, it's a lot of work. And Evan very much prefers other people to do that work. So this sounds like an excellent way to meet some new people, do some exciting stuff. Don't get tied down to the university.
You were fairly close to the woods and these ruins, and you get there. You actually get there before the group. When you arrive, you almost miss this location because you did get like a very brief description on what this might have been. But there is a huge circular pit. And in the center of this pit, probably about 150, 200 feet below, you see a large conical spire, and only like the last 20 feet can be seen from ground level. It's hard to see a lot from where you are because, as well as just this spire being in this pit, it's actually surrounded by a pit. And at the very bottom, at the base, there is a ledge where you can stand, but it doesn't seem like there's any way to get down there. Before the rest of the group that you are quote-unquote supposed to meet here, is there anything you want to do?
I mean, there's a lot of things I want to do, and Evan might be an idiot, but he's not suicidal, so we're going to hold off on the feather falling to the bottom for at least 10 more minutes. Very, very difficult not to.
You're smart enough to recognize...
Like I said, survival skills.
Survival skills, but also you'd have to get a very good running start to get over the pit and over the ledge to get Featherfall. It's not...
What I'm hearing is that someone needs to throw me. Gotcha. I'll wait for the group. No, I'll start with making... I'll just instantly start making notes and sketches for Rithier. Full of judgment and snark, and also full of information, but also lots of snark.
Perfect. Snark towards the group.
Whoever made this spire, it is clearly unsafe, hazardous, no proper entrance. Ridiculous.
Yeah, you don't see an entrance from up here either.
Terrible architecture.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. So you're probably waiting maybe like an hour to 2 hours before you see a cloud of dust off in the distance making its way towards your direction. You see a carriage, fairly large. You would recognize these. You know that this is a private carriage from the Greyhound Express, which usually runs in the Plainwort Woods from 2 major cities. But sometimes they can be hired out for private use. It is being pulled by 2 Clydesdale-sized greyhounds, and as it comes up to you, it stops. And the first one out is Professor Analis, a short high elf. He is looking around, brushing off his clothes of the desert, even though he just hopped out onto the stand. And it seems to be glancing around. Followed by...
Professor Analis! Hi! Welcome to the expedition! I've been waiting!
Why are you here?
The expedition from the university, it's here. I mean, it took you long enough to find it. I appreciate you showing up. And I do like that you'll be assisting me. I've heard great things about you.
You are not on the paperwork, Mr. Bembridge.
No, the paperwork is dealt with by other people. You must be aware. My talents cannot be caught by paperwork.
Who told you about this confidential information?
I'm sure I don't know what you mean. Confidentiality is such a outdated concept. Are you alone? Did you bring friends? I'm expecting a Loxodon, a half-orc, and a Tabaxi as well. And which one of you is carrying my bag?
At this point, I walk out. I step out of the cart and kind of breathe in some fresh air. And I look around and I see it and I say, "Hello, I am Bayul."
Hello, Bayul. Even for a gnome, I'm pretty short, so handshaking is heftily upward.
I would be down. I would be more proper. I'd be down to try to greet you at the level, and then I kind of get up and I walk over and I give a nice pet down of the greyhound doggies.
Oh yeah,
I don't know how the greyhounds are liking the construct, by the way.
They're well trained. But you've also been like, whenever you had to camp for the night, Bayul, you guys are best friends. You and these dogs.
We're buddies.
Yeah, 100%. They love you.
They're at my level, right? If I recall, they're fairly tall.
They're very tall. How tall are you?
Yeah, I'm 7.
Oh yeah,
so.
You're like very close in height. I don't know how tall Clydesdales are, but you're equivalent.
Yeah,
they're pretty big.
Cool. Yeah, I get right up.
Nanette is definitely gonna be the last one to get out. Trying to get like a last like bit of like a cat nap in.
I thought you were aiming for the sugar glider.
Izzy's going to shake Nanette, thinking she's asleep. We're here. Nanette, are you awake? Do you need me to wake you up more? Nanette?
Nanette is awake. Nanette just does not want to be awake.
Nanette?
I'm gonna hear this because I have good hearing, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, speak!" And you hear a from the dog. See if it spooks Nanette.
Immediately bristles, just like I sit up. Nanette thinks that if the dogs bark at me one more time, there will not be any more dogs.
Why would there be no more dogs? I mean, they're nice. They're not bad. They're really kind of. I mean, they're big. They're kind of scary a little bit, but they're not bad.
Dogs are like sand. They get everywhere, and I don't like them.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong about the sand, but I don't. Huh? You're weird.
As you're all talking and interacting, Inalis has walked past you, Evan, and has gone to investigate the spire, while the rest of you are trying to get Nanette up.
I'll leave the carriage now that I'm gonna be bothered by half orc. Nanette gives like the stink eyes, like, "You did this."
You are greeted by this gnome and a big, large cat.
Oh, I like the cat.
Metal cat.
Metal cat.
Very steampunk metal cat. The palace cat, so with the tiny round ears and the really big eyes that looks very good. But he's adorable.
Hello. It is nice to meet you. Nanette says hi.
Hello, Nanette. That means you must be busy. I have heard so much about you.
Izzy's going to kneel down and kind of like offer a hand to shake. Yeah, that's me. I'm. How do you know who I am?
Rathir. We both know Rathir.
Oh.
I heard so much. Nothing but good things. Don't worry.
That's. What's that? And Izzy points to the construct.
That's Kenzie.
Okay, what's a Kenzie?
Hang on. Kenzie, sit. And he just sort of on his butt. Ground shakes a little because he's really heavy. Gotta check this weight just now. Kenzie is the best friend I built myself.
So What does it do?
Well, I stand on him and we ride around so I don't have to hire greyhounds. And he's really good company. He's an excellent listener. He's also really good at smelling things. And sometimes he hits things. You know, when I want him to. Only when I want him to. He's very obedient.
He's gonna pull out a little small leather journal. And how do you spell its name?
Kensi.
Kensi. Kensi. Kenzie. Okay. I want to make sure that I don't call him by a wrong name or anything. So.
Oh, he's very forgiving.
Is he gonna try and pet Kenzie?
He just sits still. He's made of metal.
This is kind of cool.
I'm gonna join Izzy in spec because I don't think I've ever seen a construct. Maybe I've seen one at the university, but I don't know. But it's very odd to me.
Constructs are not uncommon, but you don't see them often.
Okay.
Warforged are known, but there's not a lot of them. And there are a lot of gnomes in general in Vumalor, so there's a lot of tinkering, and you'll see them. Mostly smaller, though, never this large.
I mean, everything's new to me. Growing up in the Southwest, I wouldn't know much until I get to the university.
If they're going to inspect the construct, I'll be like, okay, so this is an access panel, and what I've been doing, Kenzie foot, and I'm going to show him the adjustments I've been making to his feet to make him better in the sand. So I've been extending these gears here so he has more surface while he's trussing along for a smoother ride because I'm standing on him, and I don't want to get too, at the end. The form is important.
Is it alive? I ask. I'm just like staring at it like, is it alive?
Technically, no.
You would know that it is not alive.
Yeah.
But I love him very much, don't I, Kenzie? Boy, yes, I do. Sorry. Sometimes upset.
Not very cuddly.
It's kind of.
He's
I kind of
very
wish it
cuddly.
was alive.
Kenzie cuddled.
At the lack of attention to Nanette, I am going to wander away from the party.
Yeah, I look away. I said it doesn't.
I think immediately as you turn around, you see Nanette like boop, 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 boop.
Out of the corner of everyone's eyes, you do see Professor Inalis inspecting the ground towards the edge of the pit near the spire, and he's writing in his notebook and seems to be making his way around the perimeter.
I'm gonna join him and ask if I can help look. I want to send Nova if it drops down. I'm assuming, right?
Yes. So
is it like a rock wall, like
of
a pit, or is it like sand?
So what's happening is, I do have your passive perception, Nanette. As you get closer to this spire, and you are looking around at this pit. It's completely circular. There's like maybe this much, maybe like 20 feet of the tip of the spire, perfectly conical. And as you look below, while there is sand falling off the sides and into the pit, and you're sensitive, because Nanette doesn't wear shoes, right? Your feet are very sensitive to how deep you are stepping into the sand, and you can tell that there is firm surface underneath you. And it's not completely sand, but there seems to be something underneath, but it's just covered. And so there is some sand falling over, but it's not a cascade.
Are there any windows or anything to the spire itself that I can see from where I am?
No.
Okay.
You are from your distance, and if you do like go around a little bit, you see no windows. You see no engravings from where you are. It's a very impossibly smooth tan rock or stone.
Okay.
And you said that the spire is conical in shape?
Yes, it is a cone.
Okay.
Nanette would like to know what our mission is, and I'm going to ask our boss person. Nanette did not read the briefing again.
Of course you didn't.
Do you need Nanette to go down there and climb down?
My mission is to investigate this spire. The diviners at the university believe this to be very important to the history of Eatios.
Mm-hmm.
As for going down there, I don't think you could make it. There is...
Nanette's a very good climber.
I want to send Nova down. Is it windy? Does it feel like a big gust of wind? How does it feel like in that gap?
No wind.
Okay.
But honestly,
I want to send her down and look and have her look for me. I'll just kind of pull. I'm gonna ask Izzy, can I brace myself against you? Izzy, look.
You can try. I mean, I don't.
I have a good balance.
I'm not sure how much good I'll be, but I'm happy to help. Yeah.
All right, thank you. And I put my hand on your
with
shoulder.
your other hand.
Yeah, that works. I can do. Yeah,
if you want sturdy, there is a large, heavy construct who doesn't move unless told.
I don't know if I'm fully. You can tell Bayul's like. I don't know if I trust an inanimate object, but I'll attempt. And you see my eyes go black, and then Nova leaps off my tusk and starts sailing down. I'm going to see through her eyes what we can see.
So as Nova begins to glide down this pit, you see between the wall of the drop-off, there is a portion where there is no ground that just leads off into darkness. And as she continues to glide and maybe do a couple goes around the spire, this pit goes around the entire thing, but there is a platform around that base of the cone.
Okay.
As she glides all the way down, because she won't be able to get back up. She cannot fly.
Yeah. Well, as I can just at that point where if she lands and she knows, I can snap and she'd pop right back up on my shoulder.
That's fine. As she wants you want her to look around?
Yeah, I want her to kind of look around to see what I'm seeing down there. Is it dark? Is it light? She has dark vision, so
the light of the sun is able to go into this pit. There's some shadow because it's not noon, it's not directly down, but there's nothing obscured. Most of this stone is smooth. No engravings whatsoever. And when she gets down to the platform, and does some walk-arounds of the perimeter, in one part there is an engraving. It is a symbol of an eye surrounded by stars and some writing in a language you cannot read.
Okay. I think at that point, I just want to have her do a quick, just because of her little curious nose, have her smell with her keen smell. Did she smell anything odd while she's down there?
Did I see the sugar glider go down? I will lean over to Bayul. That is very smart. That way the mouse gets eaten if there's anything big underneath the sand.
Well, there's not much to eat. I can't hear anything he's saying because I'm blacked out at that point. Anything she can smell, just as a curiosity.
Sand.
Just sand and dust. Okay. No acrid smells, no gas, and okay, perfect. No. I think at that point, after she's done looking around, I snap and she pops up on my shoulder, and I come back to, and I will there's Nova saw something down there. There's a platform. How far down roughly was that platform?
150 feet.
150 feet. Okay.
Yeah.
Fairly down there.
So we need to climb down to get on the platform.
We might have to. We have
nowhere...
abilities. There's a symbol. I look to the professor and I say, "There's a symbol," and I look to Evan as well, of an eye surrounded by stars.
There is nowhere to climb down. If you climb down, you are climbing to the bottom of the pit, and you do not know how far it goes because there is a gap between the wall and the platform.
Would I know anything about the symbol that was just described to me?
Analis is also taking notes as you talk, Bayul. Roll history checks. This will be a difficult check.
While Bayul's describing
religion.
that...
No.
Religion. Okay.
History or religion, sorry.
Okay.
History or religion.
Can Izzy try and sketch the symbol that Bayul saw?
If Bayul describes it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to describe kind of what she saw. There's an eye in the center surrounded by stars.
Okay. Do you need me to roll anything to see how accurate Izzy gets for that?
No, you're good.
Okay. Okay, so Izzy's just gonna kind of start sketching the eye surrounded by the stars, and he's kind of hold it up. Like this? Is this what you mean?
I kind of walk him through and be like, yeah, it's kind of like this, and kind of point out as best as possible. For my elephant never forgets anything.
That's right. Elephants never forget.
And never forgive.
I mean, I took keen mind, so I'm not an elephant, but I also don't forget. I rolled history because I really don't do very well on religion, but I did get a 27 for history.
Yes.
Because I have a +8 and I rolled a 19.
That is awesome.
Nice.
This is very obscure information. And you've only really seen it before. You don't know what it's called, but this symbol you have seen in other ruins, mostly abandoned libraries, which have no texts in them, period. But you have seen that symbol there before. And just by deductions, it is some kind of, you think it's some kind of group that has to do with accumulating knowledge. But other than that, you don't have a name because there's never anything written down. But this is maybe like the third time you've seen this.
Quick question: how far from from where we're standing towards the edge to the spire is it?
Like 20 feet at least, 20 to 30 feet.
I want to have my wand of secrets out, and I'm going to walk the perimeter a little bit to see if I can find
read me the
emits anything.
Read me the description, please.
Yeah. While holding it, you can expend an action. One of its charges of 3. Secret doors or traps within 30 feet of you. A wand pulses the point nearest to you.
You do not get a sense for any secret doors or traps.
Okay.
While they're doing that, I'm going to pull out one of my Eatios and my 50 feet of rope, and I'm going to tie a knot around the end. And I'm going to go up to Evan and Izzy. Can you two hold this?
I'm just gonna have
Like,
Kenzie do
could
that
you hold
because
it
I'm not
tightly?
very strong.
I mean, I would
Kenzie,
prefer if
hold.
all 3 of you held it.
I'll come up. I hear this. I'll come up and I'll help hold the rope.
I'll
okay,
have Kenzie hold stuff because you don't want me on that rope, trust me.
Okay, you 3 hold this, and then I'm going to tie it around my waist. Then that is going to climb down. I am an excellent climber.
Oh, wait. No. Do you have like a mouth or a paw to spare while you're climbing down?
Then that is an excellent climber, and I have claws.
No, but like if I give you a very particular kind of lantern to carry with you while you carry it?
You could put it in my backpack.
No, it needs to be lit.
You could tie it to the rope,
That
like in the
works.
belt loop.
Yeah, I'll put it on your belt loop. You are now carrying a lantern of revealing.
Cool. So I will have them show me where the little platform is, and then I will like overhang and try to get to the wall, and then kind of latch onto the wall to climb down.
As you take out this, what does this lantern do, Anik? Read the description.
Yeah, while lit, this hooded lantern burns for 6 hours on 1 pint of oil. I carry a lot of oil. Shedding bright light in a 30-foot radius and dim light for an additional 30 feet. Invisible creatures and objects are visible as long as they are in the lantern's light. You can use an action to lower the hood, reducing the light to dim light in a 5-foot radius. So nothing invisible can sneak up on you while you're with this lantern down there.
Okay. So nothing really happens up here with the lantern, but when Kenzie is asked to come forward and hold this rope for Nanette, there is a loud thud instead of a soft thump as he gets close to the edge. He does not sink as far as he normally does.
Can he go like this?
He'll start doing a little bit of diggy.
Careful digging.
Careful digging.
Like litter box digging, not burying a mouse digging.
No claws.
Or
anything.
sideways. Yeah.
Kenzie's claws hit stone after a couple inches of sand being brushed away.
Taking notes. Also, I had a question because I knew a little bit about that symbol because I'd seen it before. Out of my own personal vanity interest. Did Professor What's-His-Face seem to know what this symbol was? Or do I know more than he does?
He
Can
wasn't
I lord it over him?
He wasn't around when you were all talking about it.
Perfect.
He's been like ignoring you.
Perfect. Evan has the biggest I know something you don't know face that you have ever seen on a gnome, and that's saying a lot. He is the smuggest little asshole right now.
Are you going over to him to rub his face in it?
No. I'm just gonna talk just a little louder and go, oh, you're all just the most helpful. I never would have discovered any of this crucial information without your assistance. You are wonderful, wonderful companions. I appreciate all of you. The university is going to love what we've uncovered already.
I'm very confused by this sentiment. I'm like, thank you?
Yeah, I'm like pointing down, like, am I good to climb now? Isn't it allowed to climb? So Nanette is going to start climbing.
Okay, sure.
Because I do have a climb speed of 20 feet.
Yes.
As a tabaxi.
Yes, that is true. The light of the lantern kind of swings as you are climbing down. You feel this the heat is just baking into and radiating off of this stone as you climb down. You're only able to get about 40 to 45 feet because you're tied to a rope. And unless you want to get off of it.
So at that point, I would untie the rope with one hand. I have 3, technically. I have the claws for my feet and then this.
Yeah.
So I'll untie the rope, put the lanterns, like the metal ring, in my mouth. And then I will untie the rope and I'll just keep climbing my own.
Yeah. How far down do you go? Because...
Well, you said the platform was like 100 feet, right?
So, you've got the edge where you were climbing.
Yep.
You've got like a pit, and then you have the ledge where the spire is. It's probably like 20 to 30 feet between the wall where you're climbing and the ledge that the spire is on. Okay.
So, is there a ground level? Like, if I continued climbing down the ledge that I'm on now, does it lead on endlessly down to the pits of nowhere, or is there like a gap, or...
How far do you go?
I would go down to the point where I can settle like on a ledge or settle somewhere that I could feasibly climb back up from.
You climb down, and let's say however long you climb down, you do not see a bottom.
Then I will climb back up.
There were a couple ledges where you can like take a sit to rest, but
yeah. Then I would just sit there and I would call up. I'd be like, Nanette is stuck and cannot find. There is no bottom. Nanette cannot find this.
What do you mean stuck?
Nanette is sitting and resting, but there is no way down. You can come get me.
You hear
I will climb back up.
Echoing voice from this pit.
So Nanette's been climbing on the wall of the pit.
Yes.
I'm just gonna hold on to Kenzie and sort of lean over the edge a little bit. Nanette, are you? Just keep clinging.
Yeah, just like wave out like a paw.
Are you a good jumper as well as a good climber?
How far away would I have to jump is the real question.
20 to 30 feet.
20, 30 feet. I don't think that's a feasible jump for
Not
me
for
with
you.
no running jump. But is there anything that I could throw a Yickelwa at with rope tied to it?
There's stone. You're not sure if it'll be able to go in. If anyone up top is looking, Professor Analis, after some short period while you're all doing all this, Talda's fix your...
Yep.
Okay. Is rubbing away sand around the perimeter. He's gotten closer now again and is kind of, not curiously, but more like disdainfully watching your group as he is brushing away sand.
I want to have a look at the piece of rock that Kenzie's been... Because Kenzie has really big paws, so I'm assuming we're clearing sand away faster than Professor Analis.
Mm-hmm.
Nanette maybe should be climbing back up, but that's entirely up to her. She's her own person. So I just want to see what Kenzie's uncovering, and if any of the sand that Kenzie is moving can be moved towards where Professor Analis is trying to unearth stuff, and just like shove piles of sand back onto Professor Analysis.
He's not that close to you, unfortunately.
Oh.
Just okay. At least shove it in his general direction.
Of course.
You know.
I'll help with mage hands. My hands aren't super big, but mage hand I'm just gonna have it start doing some swipes and just see if I can just part this sand as much as possible to help. Is point of order, is Nanette still on the rope or no? You didn't get back on the rope yet.
It's all
dangly.
Yes.
I figured as much.
There's a very expensive lantern on that rope right now.
Well, actually, Nanette has that with her. Because she untied it from the rope.
Please don't drop my lantern.
Nanette would not drop a lantern. Nanette
it took me 8 hours to make.
Does anyone have any spells that could make Nanette fly? Or a boat fly?
I do. I could aid. I just learned how to turn myself into something else. I could polymorph myself into something and carry people.
Can you carry something big enough to carry Nanette?
If I polymorph into something big, like a
giant eagle, you can.
Giant eagle or giant owl. Just that'd be my big spell.
I know a few spells that can help things. I have enhance ability. I've been practicing that a lot. I can do that pretty good. So I can make you stronger if you need to be. So if we need to just pull Nanette up with the rope, or if you want to polymorph into a thing and then carry her up like that, I can make you stronger.
Oh, Nanette does not need to get carried up. Nanette needs to get carried over.
Yeah, I think we all need to get across.
And then glide.
Evan.
Would it be an acrobatics or athletics, by the way?
Jumping is an athletics check.
Oof.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Man, if it'd been acrobatics, I would like.
Yeah, no, that's
the jumping's athletic checks.
Of the rogue and
it
the
sucks. The Evan, as Kenzie is like help you. Actually, it's Bayul and Evan as you are just pushing the sand out of the way. Beneath this sand is rock. And just by the curvature and where it is, it seems to surround the entirety of the pit. It is engraved with magical runes. It's probably like a couple feet long, like maybe like 3 feet wide from the pit, and it just seems to surround the entire outside.
Do I recognize any of the sigils?
Yeah.
You can both roll Arcana checks.
Just as good as Arcana. Only my dice betray.
18.
Sigils? What sigils?
I'm gonna climb back up.
Sorry, Bayul, what was that? What'd you get?
18.
So, you don't recognize the exact spell. But you do recognize the intent, and you recognize the School of Magic. It is the School of Conjuration, which, as you know, as being a wizard, is able to summon and create things. It seems that these symbols surrounding the entire outside is stairs, a doorway to get something, a ramp. It's kind of odd. It's oddly worded. It's the symbols are older and not modern, so it's a different dialect.
Okay.
I'd just say that, because I rolled a natural 1, I'd be happy to write that off as me going, symbols. Kenzie, go sit on whatever Professor Analysis is doing. Just need him to go mess with him. I need to not find this first.
Quick question: did Professor Analysis? Do we know what class he is? Has he made mention in any passing? Like wizard, sorcerer.
Bayul, you would know just by being you are an alumni of the university now. You're no longer a student. You are in the actual employment of. He does not study arcane magic, but he has some magical casting ability.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. I think just out of habit, just because I know him, I don't know if we talk very often, but I would actually call him over, just oblivious to Evan's plight to try to mess with him a little bit, but I would call him over and it's be like, Professor, come take a look at this.
So what happens is Kenzie sits on what Analis has pushed away. He's like, ugh, that stupid gnome. Ugh.
Is Nanette climbing back up at this point?
Yeah,
It's like, oh, there's no rope, and I have to like go along the side to get the rope.
Yeah, you need to go back. You're almost up. You'll be for this conversation. You can be back up.
Yeah, no worries.
Yes,
Nathan,
Bayul.
Drake your way back up.
Yes, Bayul. What is it?
I show him all what we've unearthed and all the symbols. I'm like, it seems like it's an old language of passage. It could be a ramp or maybe an old teleportation sigil. I don't know. Does this make any sense to you?
Makes sense. 1 second.
I feel like this could be a way to get into the Spire.
Give me a moment, please. And he will...
You said it was in a language?
It is it's a magical arcane symbols. No specific language. You would actually all recognize it as Draconic, but they're runes, not an actual language. Analis takes out a small pearl from his bag and begins casting magic. The wizard in the party would know this as Identify. He closes his eyes, casts his spell. It seems that it can create a pathway down to the bottom. It just needs to be powered up.
Great.
So does it say how to power it up exactly? Is it like, does it need a battery of some kind, or do we just like hold hands and chant something, or?
My guess is magic.
Well, yeah, I'm not that dumb.
That peaks for me. It reminds me of when we used to, when I was on my trial, we would expend our magical ability to help power the wards before they fell.
Correct, yes.
I reached down and I put my hand on one of the symbols, and I'm gonna cast light, just a cantrip to see if I can push any power into it.
The wards flash blue for a second, and they accept your magic, but they do not stay on.
Okay. I feel like we're gonna have to charge this up.
Cool. Good luck. Nanette, could you draw me a diagram of distances while you were climbing and the relation of the spire to the wall?
Oh, Nanette is back up. Thank you for noticing. Nanette forgot your lamp down below. Sorry. Just kidding. Nanette has it right here. It's behind Nanette's back.
I was just holding the rope the whole time.
Nanette is so clever.
Nanette is very clever. You're my favorite already. Don't let Rathira hear it, because I think she wants me to favor Izzy.
That is okay. Nanette is not getting grades for this adventure.
Wait, what?
Nothing, darling.
Okay.
Well, if we need to power it up, I don't know how
magic?
much we will need. Bayul?
If it's old, it might need, a jump start, I guess. I'm assuming, we can cast cantrips all day at it, but it might not really work. I'm assuming it needs something a bit more powerful.
That is a little more juice.
A little more.
That sounds like something for wizards and spellcasting people to do.
Nanette
is going to go sit right over there.
I know you have You're a terrible spellcaster from what I have heard, so you're not going to be using that magic, are you?
What magic? Nanette has no magic. Nanette is a wonderful wizard.
Wait, what?
Anyway.
I'm gonna put my hand down and I'm gonna cast a second level, just a second level energy boom. Expand the spell slot on that. See if I can charge it.
If anyone else would like to assist in jump-starting this old mechanism, it would be appreciated. And
Izzy will also expend a. He'll spend a first level spell slot because he has the most of those.
Yeah. From where I sit, and I will act like I'm not helping, I'll expend a second level slot. If I have to roll a stealth check to do that, I will do so. But Nanette does not want to appear like she's helping in any way.
Right.
Roll a stealth check or sleight of hand. It doesn't matter.
Okay, what is my
Evan
stealth?
will be taking notes.
Oh, nice. I have a +8 stealth. We'll roll with that. I forgot I was a sneaky tabaxi. So that's a nat 20 with a plus, so a 28.
Okay, so you did a what level spell slot?
Second level. That's the
Second?
highest I can give.
Bayul, what did you give?
I gave us a second level.
Izzy, what did you give?
First level.
And
Plus that cantrip earlier.
the cantrip did nothing.
Yeah.
Nanette, you are off a little bit and you dig your paws through the sand to touch the rock below, and you expend your energy into this arcane symbols, which flash blue a little bit underneath of you. And Bayul, Izzy, and Professor Inalis all put their hands on this rock, and a bright blue flash, and all of the symbols glow, and you can all feel a pulse of energy as everything, the entire perimeter and runes glow blue, and all of the sand is ejected off of where this stone is. It goes up into the air and down into the pit.
I keep my parasol in front of my face at least a little.
The sand gets into Kenzie's.
Is it just shaking sand out of his hair?
Yes.
Don't worry, Kenzie's excellent at dealing with it.
And all of these runes glow blue. And almost it grows. What happens next? And there is a platform where there is a little, maybe like an inch raised from around this platform. And there is a blue platform that suddenly juts out and slowly begins to spire around the inside of the pit, around the perimeter, until it connects to the bottom.
Oh, good job! You all did it so well.
Well done. Well
yeah,
done
good job. So there's a platform.
There is a ramp going around the entire outside that leads to the bottom.
Got sand in my pan flute.
How much rope do we all have?
Professor Inalis begins shaking off the sand of his robes.
How much rope did everyone bring?
Let me check my sack.
I have 50 feet.
Why?
I guess I should have.
Why?
Well, the ramp may not last forever. It's better to have a rope bridge to climb in the last resort, or we'll be stuck down there forever.
I have 50 feet of rope. And I'll just I'll just pull out of my little satchel and just toss it, and I'm going to go up to the ramp with my staff and be like, oh, this looks interesting, eh? And as I tap it with my staff.
It's solid. The entire ramp.
I know it's solid.
Well, that's Mary.
NZ
That's
level
Mary's
I know
solid?
it's solid.
What was that, Anik?
NZ levels of solid?
It can, if Kenzie tests it out, it is solid. It's a little partially see-through. You can see below, but it's translucent.
Cool.
So now I have 100 feet of rope.
150. I have 50.
You are not
Okay.
as stupid as you look.
Nanette
And-
has never been stupid.
Professor Inalis takes out another 50 feet of rope from his
Okay.
bag.
So I take out a piton from my bag, and I am going to loop the rope, tie all the ropes together, nail it down into the rock, not into the sand on this side, and then I am going to sprint full speed down this ramp.
As you start putting it into the rock, the ramp flickers. It seems...
I take it out of the rock.
Yeah, because it seems like whatever, if you do that, it looks like it's messing with the magic and the arcane processes.
Did he just say he had a pan flute?
Yes.
What's the pan flute for? Evan asks, ready to take notes.
Songs?
Huh.
Do people use them for other things?
I mean, many other things, but I don't think I need to be the one to enlighten you.
You could probably put alcohol in all of the little slots and then drink it.
But then it would just pour through. It's holes.
As you are all talking about pan flutes and music, Professor Analis is making his way down the ramp.
I am living to mess with that.
I'm on the ramp too.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm on the ramp.
I guess I will have all this extra rope that I'm not going to give back, and I will just go down the ramp.
I have a very slow walking speed, so I'm just gonna stand on Kenzie and enjoy his giant paws cluttering along.
Was there any other rock around the ledge that I could have narrowed, pinned it in without disrupting the
arcane processes?
Arcane stuff. Yeah, because we were right near the platform, like where they did the ritual. Would it be possible to like circumvent and go like 30 yards or
highs?
10 yards that way?
Highs or lows?
We'll go highs.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then I will try it then, and I will wait for them to get off the see-through bridge before I start.
Sure.
But then I would start and see if anything changes, like if there's that flicker.
There is no flicker. It is just a rock. It's bold. It's a boulder. You're able to put it in, and you can bring the rope down with you if you would so desire.
Yes. And then once I get all the way down there, I would pin it on the other side.
Sure.
So that there's like
easy enough.
Climbing.
It is a leisurely walk. Not the ramp isn't super inclined where it's uncomfortable. And you're able to get down to this base of this spire. As you are closer, but you were able to get a good look at it earlier through Nova's eyes. But to everyone else, this stone is completely smooth. Almost, as you are closer, almost polished. And this symbol of this eye and stars, surrounded by stars, Professor Analis is standing in front of it. And he is his arms crossed like this, looking at the writing next to it.
What kind of writing does it look like?
Cylindriconic?
It is not.
It's in Primordial?
It is not. This is a language none of you speak.
That's
Good
why
thing
she
I have
asked what
comprehend languages as a spell.
So does Izzy.
He's Analis is muttering to himself as you all come up. He doesn't actually notice you this time around as you come up near him.
I mean, Kenzie has a 40-foot walking speed. I could have caught up with him.
That's up to you whether you caught up to him or not.
Such a jerk.
When Izzy comes up and sees Analis is kind of like looking, I guess he looks a little bit grumpy in comparison to how he normally looks.
He always looks grumpy.
He looks a little grumpier, maybe.
He looks contemplative as well as grumpy.
Has anyone touched the tower yet?
Izzy is actually going to do exactly that.
You should touch the tower.
Yeah, Nanette gives this look, and she looks at the top of the spire, and it's that look of, I'm going to climb to the top of this unless someone stops me.
Like, I'm going to stop everyone.
I am not stopping you. I want to...
I'm gonna take Nova out. I'm gonna say, hey, see if you can climb that, and I'm gonna have Nova jump across off my hand and see if she can touch it.
Hey, Nanette.
Does the sugar glider get within my jumping range?
Yeah, so I was like, Nanette, that sugar glider is gonna beat you on the first ascent. Are you gonna take that?
Because if it's flying within Nanette's area, she would definitely try and catch the sugar glider.
I don't know. Is Nova within Nanette's range?
I'm gonna say yes, but Bale's paying attention, and he's gonna snap her like if he was like arm length. It just bamps like 6 inches in front of his grasp, so you can't grab.
Yeah,
this is beautiful.
She definitely makes Sleepers like.
When she touches the spire, anything happen?
Nothing happens, but if any of you are going to try and climb, you actually do need to make a climb check, an athletics check. It's so slick, it's so smooth that you can't get a good grip. Normally.
I was only encouraging Nanette to climb it. I have no intention of climbing.
And there is no visible way in?
No.
No windows? Could I punch through the roof, maybe?
There is no roof. It's a cone.
Well, I mean, technically...
It is a roof.
Let's see if Nova can climb up a little way.
It's made out of stone, though, so I don't know if I'm strong enough to break stone.
I don't think she'll be able to get a high enough climb check to get up.
That's what you think. Actually,
I cast?
I rolled a net 20. I'm not gonna roll again. I'm gonna just be like, the assumption is I'll roll low, so I won't climb.
She starts climbing. You just see her go.
Yeah, that's basically what happens.
Probably like claw marks too. Like
there are no claw marks.
Oh.
Oh,
Izzy,
that's adult, sis. This thing
Yes.
is impenetrable.
you may cast Comprehend Languages.
I would like to cast Comprehend Languages on the writing that's around where the professor is.
How do you cast your magic?
So, most of Izzy's magic is story-based.
Oh.
When it comes to Comprehend Languages, he kind of focuses, and his hand, whichever hand he uses.
We
lost Rob.
Rob, are you still there?
I'm here. I don't know what's happening.
Okay. Taldaz and Anik, hide yourselves. Let's see if I can figure this out.
Okay, be right back.
Quick hide.
Yeah, my camera turned off for some reason. I don't know.
I feel so hidden.
I don't know how this
It's
works.
a Logitech webcam, because they do that.
No, it's a stock on my Mac.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I
Wow,
don't know.
Izzy's looking really good on stream right now because it's my boobs.
I don't know how this works. Let's try Izzy first.
Well, let me start video. Start video.
I'm just gonna move all of you. Keep talking, Taldaz.
Okay. So
Can you turn your camera back on, Rob, please?
I'm trying to. It's not letting me do anything.
Anik, you can come on.
I didn't even touch anything. It just turned off.
I am much further zoomed in now than it was before.
Might need a close and reopen.
All top of my head is gone. Oh well. It's only the bit where the hairs are gray anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mara might have to
currently
back
doing
out and
glyph
join back in.
classes.
Hang on one second. I don't know if that's going to mess anything up.
Welcome to O
Sorry,
for A.
everybody.
It's an actual O for A stream now. We have had tech problems.
Hooray!
Yeah.
They have returned.
I feel
All right,
so
I'm
official
gonna-
now.
the goblins have returned.
All right, I'll be right back.
Ah!
Okie dokie.
Oh no.
Don't worry. In
Oh,
the time that
no!
it takes them to come back, Izzy, what does it say?
So Izzy approaches the writing, and his left hand kind of starts to glow like a greenish blue, and he touches it.
Dang it.
And the way his magic works with Comprehend Languages is he sees like a story in his head. So he sees like the story of what the writing is trying to convey. And that's how he learns the language when he looks at it.
And it's basically probably just fart jokes from 500 years ago.
It's just graffiti.
It's just graffiti.
If Thor was here?
Yeah, huh?
Oh gosh.
Oh,
Okay.
it's gone again.
We are almost to break. We will have
Do
to
I go to
push
break?
through. Yeah, let's just go to break.
You just go to break and
We will
fix it.
figure this out, and we will back. Everybody, stand up, hydrate, pet your pets for me, please. And we will be back.
See you soon, guys. At least some of us.
I love your
Be back soon.
madness.
Welcome to our Patreon. Here on Open for Adventure, we are making high-quality Dungeons & Dragons content, folks. We have a great big world to share with you, and by becoming a patron, you can help us explore and expand upon this adventure. With your support, we can invest in more amazing artwork, better mics, fancy cameras, and overall stream quality. Not to mention, help us get some amazing new merch that we can use for giveaways. What do you get by becoming a patron? I'm so glad you asked. Let's take a look at the different levels and give you a sneak peek at what you can get at each tier. Did you know that the family of the First Lord Theo, the leader of the rebellion against the Empire, actually invented firearms nearly 25 years prior to the current campaign? The designs for this high-tech weapon are the Delaney family's best-kept secret. Also, they were originally invented by the late First Lady Victoria, Theo's mother. Access to lore leaks like this is what you can expect from the first tier, written in blog-style posts after each weekly session. Ever wondered what goes on off-camera? The next 3 tiers give you exactly that. With Stolen Moments, you can get access to text-based roleplay moments, highlighting experiences that don't make it onto the stream, like Leona's training session with Ray and Asmar. Stolen Moments Plus gives you access to roleplay moments featuring our guests, non-player characters, and historical figures, featuring the likes of Marshall, Annalena, and even the Empress herself. And Roleplay Addiction takes us to a whole other level. This tier gives you exclusive 30-minute videos of canon interactions not otherwise seen on stream, like late-night drunken interactions between paladins or tender moments featuring your favorite character ships. The Warm Fuzzies is super simple. It's everything I've listed so far, and also you get your name on stream after our weekly regular sessions. Every session. And our undying love. And finally, the most epic of all Patreon tiers. Drum roll, please. The Lore Master. This ultimate and final tier gets you first look access at all of the content going into our upcoming, official, Open for Adventure campaign setting. Lore, maps, monsters, items, dungeons, dragons. Go ahead, have a look around, make yourself at home, and consider becoming a patron to help us make this fantasy world a little bit closer to reality.
Oh, hi! My name is Express Love. I'm the Senmarian god of coffee. Did you know that in Senmaria, every cup of coffee is made with found familiar coffee beans? That's canon. In Senmaria, every cup of coffee is good coffee because it's made with love by Found Familiar. Did you know that every bag of Found Familiar coffee features artwork from incredible members of the tabletop gaming community? That's canon. Each blend and roast of Found Familiar coffee features cool D&D names like Thieves' Cant, Face Step, and Pact Magic. In Senmaria, every royal meeting that Ray attends features the Cartographer's Blend, a brew of coffee made by Found Familiar in conjunction with Devon Rue. Now that's canon. Found Familiar coffee. Buy it today.
I'm like an animal. Some would say I'm insane and they're right in a way, but I just love to play and you're fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know and give me your freedom. To pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. Life is so easy. want your pandemonium. Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful. Oh, you shine like gold, so selfless to all, and wild like an animal. Some would say I'm insane and they're riding away, but I just love to play in your fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know and give me your freedom. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. The limit of love is endless, I know. Just do what you want with me. Yeah, I want it all. Could care less the cost. I give you my everything. Some would say I'm insane and they're riding away, but I just love to play in your fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know and give me your freedom. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. And give me your freedom. Whoa, yeah, to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful. Oh, you shine like gold, so selfless to all, and wild like it. Games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know and give me your freedom. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium, life is so easy.
And welcome back. Sorry about that, folks. We have returned. Our lovely Loxodon Necromancer is back. And we will continue with where we left off, where Izzy just cast Comprehend Languages on this spire where the writing is.
Mm-hmm.
Izzy, you see when you cast this spell the intent of behind the words. When you touch this wall, you see a group of elves slowly walking into a doorway. You do not see the writing on the wall. And it's like there's a couple flashbacks. the door closes behind them, and another when more people decide to go in. A majority of these people are elves, high elves, very tall. Occasionally you see something else, maybe like a kobold or you see the same goblin a couple times. But it's never the goblin or the non-elves doing this. When they want to go in where this writing and this eye and stars are, they take a knife and they prick their thumb and place it on these engravings, and a door appears. And then the spell fades as you take your hand away.
So, basically, what it means is that we have to kind of prick our fingers on kind of it's like blood magic, kind of.
It says the strength of the pursuit of knowledge runs through your veins. So that makes sense. And without a hesitation from the professor,
Does that mean Nanette should not be here?
he pricks his finger and places it on the door. And the stone melts away into the shape of a door.
Oh,
What
okay.
lies beyond the door?
Is it an actual door?
It's just an opening.
Okay. Oh,
Actually.
I was about to say, is there any kind of mechanical entrance, or does it just...
Melts.
So it's
yeah,
more
like
a-
mold
like
earth.
an-
Like,
Yeah, the closest thing from a magical standpoint would be like a mold earth or stone effect, but you're not 100% sure if that is the spell.
Nanette would like to know if you want us to go inside.
Yes.
Okay,
Send,
I'm gonna
send
go
Nova
inside.
through.
Oh no.
That's
And Nahlis goes in with
Oh.
Nova.
just
Confidently.
going right in.
Confidently.
Question.
Yes.
How large is this door?
It can fit large-sized creatures.
Okay.
I will run
As
in.
Can I ask? Can I want to see what was his reaction when the door opened, the professor.
Roll an insight check.
Izzy was too
16?
preoccupied seeing it happen
Yeah.
to care.
As we're walking in, I want to lean over to Izzy. So, Nanette would like to know, what exactly is our mission here? Are we supposed to keep the professor safe? Are we supposed to get knowledge?
I mean,
It's a little
they
confusing, and I did not read the dossier.
they
Sorry,
kind of go hand in
17.
hand.
Veiled excitement.
Just gonna take that in.
They kind of go hand in hand in that. I know I'm here just to kind of like make sure nobody does stupid things, but also because I take good notes,
That was Evan.
and sometimes my notes are better because I draw pictures with them, and sometimes that helps a lot more than just someone writing it down. But yeah, I think keeping the professor safe is probably a good idea. Wait, speaking of, I should probably... And Izzy kind of reaches into his bag and fiddles around, then pulls out a little wand. Sorry. He's okay. Let's go.
What does that do?
I point it, and then it sprays webs at things.
Like big webs? Tiny webs?
Big ones?
Have you used it before?
Once. It didn't work that time because, it worked, but it didn't really work because
That is
we
what
had
they
to...
all say.
We had to go into the web to actually finish what we were trying to do, but it worked for what it was intended to do, and that's really kind of all I really wanted to do, is to just kind of stop people from fighting.
Could you make a rope out of webs?
I mean, I guess you could if you spent enough time, but it doesn't really do... It just kind of like... Blah.
Blah?
Yeah, it doesn't really... I can't really point it and make it into a rope. But I can just kind of shoot the webs, and then if you wanted to, you could go around and collect them and then kind of braid them together into a rope.
I would just climb the web.
I mean, that yeah.
I walk by and say that I like that idea, and I just walk by.
Evan?
I just want to be right behind the professor. Also, DM.
I'll bring up the rear.
I'm pretty sure the answer is going to be no because it would be entirely game breaking.
What's the answer no to?
I have the background feature historical knowledge, which tells me when I enter a ruin or dungeon, I can correctly ascertain its original purpose and determine its builders, whether those were dwarves, elves, humans, Quanti, or some other known race. In addition, I can determine the monetary value of art objects more than a century old. Who built this?
So, as you all enter, Evan, and you're looking around, this is apparent to everybody. This structure's original purpose is a library. As you look in, the inside is 100% bigger than the outside. There are spiraling bookcases spiraling all the way up and up and up. The inside is not conical, and it goes up as high as you can see, as well as down, conical, as far as you can see. You see there are sconces that have a low blue magical light flickering everywhere, casting a blue glow across these bookshelves. And there is a center area where Professor Analis is standing in the center, looking up and up and up.
Does it only go up, or does it also go down?
It goes up and goes down.
I'm like kind of near him, going like, oh.
But yeah, the fact that there is no conical top and no tip, trippy.
Pretty cool.
Evan.
I wonder if there's an engineering section.
Evan, by looking around based off the shape and the engravings and just like the architecture of this place, this seems to be an ancient elven structure. It's reminiscent of current elven. It's very old. Nothing, and the only reason why you recognize it is because you've seen other old elven structures, and just based off what you know in general of the world, any ancient elven structures are hard and rare to find. And actually, any elves over a certain age seem to have disappeared, like 600 to 700 years ago after the planar events happened. No one knows why.
I think we have a suspicion by now.
May I attempt a history check to see if Izzy knows of any legends that speak of a library such as this?
I would like to do the same. I was just going to ask that.
I'm going to go to the closest books and start trying to read them.
Let's do the history checks first.
Okay. Ooh, not bad. What was my
23
plus 8? I got a 22.
Izzy, you don't have any specific stories, but there have been verbal rumors throughout your travels when you have met some older elves, not ancient, but that said that there used to be a lot of elven libraries in the past. No one knows what happens to them. You just know that they used to be here and they existed. Rob, what'd you get? Bayul, what'd you get?
23.
Very similar.
Okay.
You had a little bit more information because you go to the university. It is the largest library of knowledge on the continent. It's very similar.
Until this point.
Yeah, till this point. But very similar what I just told Izzy. But
if we're able to spend time, I want to also start ritually casting detect magic to see if anything kind of pings around me.
As you begin to cast detect magic as a ritual, and Professor Analis is just looking around. This time he's smiling. This is the first time you've seen a smile on his face.
This has never happened before.
I know, right?
I did put the lantern of revealing on Kenzie's little... there's nothing little about Kenzie. On my little platform that's on the big cat.
Sure.
Just, you know, once upon a time I got attacked by something invisible. I learned lessons. I'm an idiot. But I do want to not necessarily keep an eye on the net because that sounds judgmental, but I'm also very excited and I want to see the books and see if it's like an organizational structure, because there has to be some kind of engineering section that I can just go live in.
Yeah,
go ahead, Izzy.
I would just like to join Nanette in looking at some of the nearest books after I kind of rack my brain for what is this place?
I'm not going to pull any out of the shelves. I'm reading the titles on like the spine of the book. Are they all in Elvish or different languages?
It's a variety of different languages. There's like a couple nearby bookshelves. Analysis smiling, but you all also see movement. It doesn't seem like these things are trying to conceal themselves. On the railings, because there are railings like on the ramp leading up and down, and occasionally there's like structural support. You see these odd birds. Their bodies are black and white, large clawed feet with a long, thick orange and yellow beak. And they weren't all here immediately, but once you came in, they started perching and staring down at you, and their beaks click. And after... What was that?
Do they look delicious?
Do they
or
look
are they
delicious?
Like humanoid people?
No, they're not people. These are birds.
Oh, okay, perfect.
They all click their beaks and all stare at all of you.
I'm just waiting for Nanette's tail to start twitching. And
Yeah, I think it is. Like, now that she's noticed them.
Birds. Yeah. You know you want to.
Nanette would like to say hello. I am going to read some books, if that is all right. If it is not all right, you should probably say so now before I do that.
As you speak, all the birds seem to at once all open and close abruptly with a loud click, and all their heads turn at once to the ramp that leads below. And everyone can hear the clicking of feet and claws head up this ramp. And going through this, like coming up from below, you see a large creature about 12 feet in height. It is a quadruped. The legs are very long, very much in proportion to its body. It kind of resembles a maned wolf, where it has the legs for days type look and a long tail. Its fur and feathers also do seem to be like jutting out from its fur, as well as a gray blue and a long neck. And on its face is flat and heart-shaped with a beak like a barn owl.
Creepy as fuck.
Hello.
What? And as it speaks with hundreds of voices. What do we have here? And it is looking from each of you, from Nanette to Evan to Kenzie to Bayul and Izzy, and finally landing on Analis, where its long neck bows down.
I'm gonna bow respectfully in front of it.
I'll bow.
Izzy's kind of awestruck, and he's like reaching with his hand into his bag to pull out his journal.
Evan's already writing.
And he starts drawing this.
I'm just writing. And I'll courtesy, because you can't really bow and write, so we'll do the little bob.
This is a library, yes?
How perceptive.
And libraries have rules, correct? Like, I know that's in the library at the university. They're like, Nanette, you cannot, you have to check out the books. Or, Nanette, you cannot be loud in the library. Are there any rules for this library?
You get the sense that it is smiling. but it has no mouth. Yes, there are. What is your intention here?
Nanette would like to read a book, but Nanette is also being paid to protect people if there was something dangerous in here. Do you have any recommendations for a good book that Nanette could read?
This creature looks at the rest of you.
I think what my friend is trying to say is thank you for allowing us into your marvelous library.
I did not
My name is
allow you
Bayul.
in here. You broke in.
Apologies. My name is Bayul. We're from the university. We're here. This Spire showed up, and we came to investigate to see what wonders we may find. May we enter?
So the wards have fallen.
I look to the professor, and I kind of look for him to see if he's going to help jump in on.
He seems to be waiting and thinking about what he wants to say.
Or calculated.
What plane of existence were you on before? You are on the material plane right now.
We have always been on the material. It's
What wards are you talking about?
Bayul, you know vaguely of the wards that were surrounding this place. It was a non-detection ward that broke when the plane of wood crashed into your trip on the circuit.
Yeah.
Anti-divination. Now,
We did bring an elf.
gnome.
I-
Orc.
No.
What is your intent here?
I mean, I would like to read some things from the engineering section, and then I'm gonna write a letter to my friend.
Orc?
Oh, is it the pet? Is the pet not allowed?
It does not answer. Orc.
Me?
Is there another orc?
Well, I mean, I'm technically only half on my mom's side, I think. But I'm here because I was asked to come here by my best friend, and I really just kind of want to get some stories and kind of spread those around and just kind of make people happy with stories about really cool things like this place.
After all of you answer, this creature turns its gaze to Analis finally, and Analis bows, like, respectfully, and he has not been respectful to any of you this entire trip. Long lived one. You are welcome to peruse these halls, as at your leisure. I hope you find what you are looking for. The rest of you, the top 3 floors, this one, the one above, and the one above that, are open to you.
I bow and say thank you for allowing us to be here. We will be
The
swift.
reason the elves get all of it, other than casual racism and being a snob.
Also, I want to know the rules.
The rules are you do not leave those 3 floors. And
And
for
that is
your
the-
answer, Gnome, the
Yes.
short-lived races are not able to comprehend the weight of the knowledge that rests here.
I'm a gnome. We're not exactly short-lived. Don't compare me to like humans or anything.
112.
I'm 134.
Nanette is 28.
Oh, you're just so cute, Annette.
I'm 18 3/4.
If I find you in other parts of the library, let's just leave it at that.
I have a few questions, if I may. One, what should we call you? Because I feel like just saying "Hey, you" is very rude. And 2, what can we find on the 3 floors that you mentioned? Like, what is what kind of knowledge is on those floors? Is there like a directory that we could find and like be able to go to specific areas of those floors if we wanted?
You may call me Adriel.
Adriel.
Adriel. As for these floors, general magic, if you are looking for spells to learn, fiction, and light history. There may be a couple engineering novels and books.
One other question, if I may, because with how ancient this place is, I'm assuming that language changes a lot like stories do. So just so that we are aware, our definition of a library is a place where you can go and read and take the books home for a time and then bring them back. Is that still a thing for here, or is that just we can only come here and read and stay here with them?
Do not remove the books.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Can we transcribe the books?
You will find stacks of paper if it has not crumbled away in some of the bookshelves and drawers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to look at Nanette and say, whisper, be good.
This creature looks down at Analis. Analis looks at it, and they both go down the ramp down.
It is a good thing that we have such a trustworthy professor here that will certainly not ruin this for everybody. Nanette certainly won't. And as I'm saying that, I'm going to take 9 of the books that I can read off the shelf, and I'm going to pile them up. And are there any tables or chairs?
Yeah.
So I'll put 8 of them in my bag so I can just carry them to the table because I don't want to spill them. And then I'm going to pull them all out one by one. And then I'm going to realize, oh, that's 8 books. And they're thick books. Then I'll put 7 back in the bag. I'll be like, I have to go put these back on the shelf next time I get up. And I'm going to just sit there and read this book until someone drags me away from it.
I need Nanette. Nanette. Are Izzy and Ayul near us right now? Because I kind of need them to not near us, so I'd wait until they go grab their own book.
Sorry,
Nanette. I am venturing away, just starting to just peruse and just fingers on the spines as I go by, just in complete awe.
Rob, Bayul, as you're going through these books are all familiar to you. You could find any of these at the university. At least it's not the exact books, but the content in them is not new to you.
On most if not all?
Most if not all.
Do I have a hard time finding anything that I don't know about, at least?
Are you staying in those 3 levels?
At this point, for right now, yes.
There is not much.
Because that's in my mind. I'm like, this
nothing
is
new.
Nothing new.
Nothing new.
This is nothing new.
Evan and
Sneaky type, right?
These books are nothing new?
No.
You are saying that Nanette has wasted the time of picking up these books from shelves, taking them all the way over to the table, and I can find them anywhere? This is stupid. Books are dumb.
No.
And I'm going to go put them all back.
Nanette, no. It's just those books that are dumb. The good books are downstairs. You have to go down.
or upstairs past the 3rd level.
Or past the 3rd floor.
What about the fiction areas?
What are you looking
Are there
for?
fiction layers up top?
What are you looking
That's where we
for?
keep the really saucy romance novels.
Izzy is looking for any
Love.
legends that he may be aware of and seeing if they're different, but also specifically any stories that he may not know. And books of like songs and like history songs kind of thing.
So, in terms of fiction, for Bayul, anything in terms of knowledge and magical lore is more or less the same because that doesn't change. At least the theory and the concept.
Okay.
Izzy, you do find new material that you have never heard of before. If you look at the like magical stuff and any magical lore, you would know and recognize that it's this more or less the same. But in terms of fiction, music, songs, tales, a majority of it is new to you. A lot of it talks about places you've never heard of.
if I can, I would like to transcribe as many of those as I can into my journal.
Sure.
I'm gonna sit down at a table in like the history section with.
There's
a
not
book.
much of a history. There's a little bit,
No.
but not a lot.
Just something, but I'm gonna sit down at the table and put it in front of me and just kind of like put my hands on the table. Nova's gonna come out, and I'm gonna have her scurry around, maybe inching away around, maybe towards a staircase to look and see
Sure.
other things up
Are the
and
birds
down.
still watching us?
Are the birds watching us?
A lot of them. There's some, but not as much as before. They semi-dispersed. They seem to be stacking books and stuff.
So
But
if Evan were to go up to the 3rd floor, how many birds are there?
And the 3rd floor is the top floor we're allowed on, right?
Yeah, but there's higher too. It's like stuck.
it's kind of like big, and they're flying around a lot. But you don't see more than 10. But it's also over a large space.
Can I like draw attention of one of the birds? Wave at them a little?
It looks at you as you wave.
Great. Just we're good here, right? This is good? Yeah? Perfect. I'm gonna go around one of the other stacks and cast invisibility.
You
And I'm gonna
cast-
walk back and I'm gonna wave back to the same bird. Hi, sorry, back again.
It looks around in confusion from hearing your voice, but does not
Yeah.
see you.
I'm gonna very carefully go up to the 4th floor here.
Nanette, what are you doing as Ben?
Uh,
She can't tell me I can't go anywhere.
I'm going to wander up to the 3rd floor, and I'm going to look around to see if there are any not books, because books have clearly been boring, and I have no interest in them anymore.
Nanette
so
looking for that ancient
anything that-
audiobook.
Yeah, no, I'm looking for if there are any
Picture
things
books.
in like glass shelves, or if there's any trinkets or items left, or if there's any bones of dead people. You know, ancient library. I am looking for specifically for dead adventurer bodies.
Speaking of Bayul, in the meantime, roll me an investigation check, Nanette.
Okay.
Bayul, in the back of your head, several minutes after this creature named Adriel has left, you hear a voice in the back of your head. It kind of shudders, and you hear the following. This place is reeked in death.
I just reply, I know. I can kind of smell it. It has an ancient death to it.
Old, musty. It's concentrated towards the bottom.
That's what I figured.
And that,
Death and darkness usually go hand in hand.
no, not darkness. Just death.
I'm going to come out of my state and call Nova back to me. Who's near me? I'm whatever the history level was. Was that the 3rd level?
We'll say Izzy's near you.
Okay.
Nanette, what'd you roll on your investigation?
So I rolled a 15, and then I'm going to use my bonus skill for being a divine sorcerer for the favored by the gods, and I rolled 2d4 and got a +8 for a 23 total.
Sure. You don't see it. Well, you see it, but there is a floor. From what you can tell, it's not on the ones you're allowed on, but there seems to be a brief display section. A lot of them are empty. A lot of the shelves are empty, though there is one with a box on it.
Are there any birds near me?
There's a couple.
Okay. Can I wave one down?
It comes down towards you, cocks its head with its long orange and yellow beak.
Hello, can you understand, Nanette? You can nod once if you understand.
It nods once.
Are there any things that are not books that I could have? Like trinkets or jewelry or things that are not a library thing? Like a lost and found? Maybe?
It cocks its head. Like a lost and found. No.
Are there any items?
Yes.
Are there any items I can have? That...
No.
Oh, no? Are there items I can trade for?
It cocks its head. Ruffles
A
itself.
shopping episode.
Ah, they thought I couldn't do it. Because Nanette is willing to trade for items of less value if they are things that the library could part with, and I don't want to break the rules. So that is why I went through you.
It opens its mouth.
Is it gonna regurgitate something? like, thank you.
It just opens its mouth, and you hear a couple voices. Not as many as what Adriel the creature spoke with, but maybe 5.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking for? We do not trade, only in knowledge.
Well, Nanette is very knowledgeable, and Nanette would be willing to trade these things. Nanette comes from a place far away, in a swamp.
We may talk later. After my business is done with the professor.
Okay, Nanette will wait here. Or is there an office that Nanette could go to wait?
It flies off.
Good. Now it's no longer watching me. My master plan! Okay, man, I really want to steal something, but also, Nanette only takes things and returns them.
Evan.
But also...
Well, then let's
I
figure
can
this
cast...
out.
So, technically, how heavy is that box?
It's not big.
So what you're saying is I could cast Mage Hand and stay on the 3rd layer?
Yeah.
And drag this thing to me?
It's mostly in reach, yeah.
Okay, I will stay within the 3rd layer, because what their specific thing was you cannot go above the layers. So I will cast Mage Hand, and I will drag the box to me. And if nothing is interesting, then I will push the box back.
Inside the box is a silver 2-pronged fork made out of a shining metal.
Oh, a silver fork. That is very interesting, but I don't... there was someone that could cast Identify, I believe. That was in our party. But I don't want to take it with me. And I don't want to holler. I will Mage Hand it back all the way to where it was, and then I will skedaddle really fast with the Tabaxi super speed run. And I will go towards
You can't
Izzy
find
or Barul, whichever one I can find first, and I will whisper really softly, like, "Hello, can you do the magic thing that lets me know what the magic item thing does?"
If it's me, I'm like, yeah, yes, I can. Did you find something that's not a book?
Follow me. I do not have time to explain.
I think Nanette is literally the only one who doesn't have Identify.
Literally?
That doesn't take
Literally.
spell.
I have Identify.
As you are having
Izzy
this
has
conversation,
Identify.
Evan.
Yes, I'm on the 4th level. What are the books like?
New material.
Yes.
This is more talks about a lot of the history of cities you've never heard of.
Crap. Can I speed read titles, things that seem a little more tied into things I do still know about? Because ancient history is fun, but...
Yeah, there's a couple books that talk about history of a couple cities, maybe on other planes of existence, for one. There's a couple books about an old human civilization you've never heard of. Excuse me. Just a bunch of places you've never heard of, basically.
But I'm still firmly in the history section. This
Yes.
isn't Arcana, Engineering, Dungeoneering.
They're all dated. It uses an older dating system. Since the whole planar catastrophe, the date system switched.
So
But it's all
up-
before.
is up older or is up more recent?
Recent.
So I kind of want to go... Ooh, I kind of want to go down, but that's where they went.
if you look over the edge, you don't see them. Because they're like the center is mostly the center, you can look all the way down. It keeps going. There is a bottom. But
and each floor I would assume is as large as the one I'm currently on.
Yeah.
So they're probably like in one of the distant wings of one of. It'll be fine, you know. So far it's always been fine.
Yeah.
They're perusing the further stack probably because that's where I'm just gonna go back down and head to the level 1 below the one we're supposed to be at.
So
Kenzie gets the stay command.
So Kenzie, as you walk by Kenzie, Izzy, Nanette, you're talking to Izzy and Bayul. You quickly, for a quick flash, see Evan pop into existence as he walks by the
revealing lantern.
The revealing lantern, and suddenly disappears again, and he is walking towards the down ramp.
I'm gonna tell would I see this as it happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And be like before you go too far away, there's something deathly evil here, and it sounds like it's below us, all the way down.
If you are going to break the rules and there are very shiny things, Nanette would not have an issue if you wanted to bring her back a souvenir.
Nanette can get her own souvenirs.
This is a very bad idea. This is a very bad idea.
How deathly
I agree.
dead are we? How deathly dead? I mean, weren't you supposed to save the professor? He's down there. Just saying.
Nanette was not supposed to save the professor. Nanette was only supposed to watch the professor get here, really. When you think about it, Nanette has done her job. And
technically accurate.
No.
So, I mean, really, Nanette is not gonna get punished if he does something stupid and dies.
Fair.
We
Anyway,
need to go down.
It is
We
not
have to
like
talk to the
Nanette's grade
professor.
is based on this.
Can anyone send a
already
message?
down.
Yeah.
What is that? You mean like write a note?
No, you can through Arcane. You can send magic. I don't have it prepared today. Does anyone have that ability?
Nanette did not even know that was a thing.
I mean, I have it. It doesn't mean I'm gonna waste it on a professor.
Plus, I think for message you have to see the person that you're casting.
Oh, you have to point in their direction.
Is that the point in the direction?
Yeah.
But it's a big library, so you're sort of going 360 degrees and praying. Fuck it. Going down.
So while we are here, can I see that box?
You can see
I
the
imagine
area
we're on the stairs.
You can see where it is. Yeah.
Can I mage hand it over to me?
Yeah. Why not?
So I mage hands it all the way over to me. Can you identify this?
Yeah, I'll cast Identify.
Yeah. You cast Identify, and you are filled with the knowledge that this isn't exactly a magical object in itself, but it is a component to be used in magic. I see you nodding your head, Evan. It is used to roll an Arcana check. See if you know what spell it's used for.
Can Evan roll
plane
it?
of
I'm rolling
existence,
Identify.
maybe.
24.
This is a tuning fork to be used in a plane shift spell.
I knew it the second you said it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
I'm gonna pick it up
Okay.
and I'm gonna hold it and I'm gonna just stare at it and be like, we should probably hold on to this and return it to Adriel.
Nanette will hold on to it because she found it.
Don't lose it.
Nanette never loses anything, really.
And I'll hand it off and I would say, just put the box back.
I made hand it back. Nanette wouldn't break the rules.
It won't leave the spire. And I just stare at Nanette. And I'm going to walk down the stairs, getting towards that first level before I go down.
Okay.
As he's walking down, I'm going to follow him. I'll just go, but what if, like, something bad happens and we have to escape and Nanette doesn't have the time to return it? Like, can Nanette keep it?
We shall see. This is fairly an important item that may help us with what's going on with the planar shifts.
Oh, so Nanette would be saving the world. Nanette is a hero. Nanette is very good at sneaking. Are we going further down?
Look to Izzy, or to Izzy. See, is Izzy following us, or is Izzy still sketching?
Izzy, what you doing?
this is a really bad idea, but this is keeping you guys out of trouble is probably the best option right now.
Nanette is not in trouble.
I highly disagree on that, but okay.
No one is staying up there. Evan is going to have to retrieve Kenzie. So I'll put the lantern of revealing so it doesn't shine anymore. And I'll put Izzy on follow with Bayul.
Okay.
Follow. And I'm gonna sneak
Okay. Where is everyone going? Reiterate for me, please.
down.
I guess
Going
I'm staying
down.
with Bayul. I think Nanette is traveling behind them and being stealthy about it, though.
I don't want to be with Bayul and Izzy. I want to be preferably in front and away, but I'm invisible, so they can't know where I'm going anyway. So I have to check back to see which stack they picked. But I'm also not with the clumpy people, including my own construct.
Okay, construct is following.
I figured the construct's in the middle, then Nanette's in the back,
All right.
Evan's in the front, and then Izzy's in the middle.
Me
do
and
you want
my
me to roll a
perception
stealth
of
check?
8 are up front. This is great.
So a couple things. As you all begin to walk down, you don't see anything on the first couple floors below. It's just more books and more shelves.
More boxes?
No boxes, but it's a variety of subjects if you read the bookshelves.
Engineering?
What was that?
Any engineering?
A little bit, yes. There are a couple books that you might find interesting, talking about how to bind elemental energies to constructs to power them.
I may want to put those in my bag of holding because Evan's dream is to make
Flying
Kenzie gargantuan
Ooh.
instead of merely large. Like, we want to go straight past huge into gargantuan. I want a cat bigger than a city. That's my dream.
Beautiful. Tarask size.
Yeah. I mean, that is the inspiration, but cuter because it's a palace cat with little round ears who can loaf.
As you continue walking down, there's tables and chairs, and sitting at these tables, you see people is a generous word, but they are bodies that do not move and do not look at you, desiccated and skin pulled over the bones, all in different processes of reading or writing, but not moving.
Do they have any backpacks set near them or things like that?
No. All the clothes have been eaten or are in the process of falling away.
So there's no jewelry or anything either?
No, they all seem to be elven.
Oh, I'm not Elven.
Can I see what kind of books they're reading? I'm sorry, Anik, go ahead.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
If you go take a look, it's a variety of subjects, but a lot of magical, based in magical lore and stuff like that. A good chunk of them are actually reading about planes and conjuration, abjuration, and like shifting.
Are there any books on flying?
There are in general, but it would be nothing different than what you could get at the university.
Well, I was wondering if there's any like spell scrolls.
You haven't seen any scrolls yet.
Okay.
Any footsteps? Like, I mean, how clean is it? Dusty? Would you be able to see footprints of people who have been walking? Trying to see if maybe the professor went this way.
Is there any sign of Adriel?
No. Actually, roll perception checks.
Oh, God.
I am very good at that.
You know what my wisdom score is.
I do.
Do you want me to roll stealth as well?
If you want to try and be sneaky, yes.
Yes.
Does that mean Evan has to roll stealth as well?
You get an advantage, though.
I do.
Okay. That is a 12 plus 8 for stealth, so a dirty 20, and then for perception, that is a 16.
Anyone else rolling perception?
Yeah, I got a natural 20.
15 for Izzy.
I have 24 stealth. I have -2 on perception, so I have a 4. I see nothing.
Bayul and I think it was Nanette. What'd you roll on perception?
I think it was a 16 because it was a 9 plus 7.
Yeah, and what was yours, Izzy?
15.
Yeah, so the three of you, basically, Evan's doing his thing. You don't see footsteps. But Bayul, you would think there's like maybe a prestidigitation effect to keep things clean. But you do see feathers and tufts of hair leading off in a direction.
Okay.
Can
I'm going
I
to point
pick
that
up
out.
a feather?
Yeah, you can pick it up. It's like a gray-blue feather.
I'll pick up like 4 or 5 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going
I
to
think
pick one up
Evan
and
is
smell
walking
it.
and reading at the same time.
I hate to kind of point out the obvious, but all of these bodies are reading, and this is a library where lots of reading is done, and I like to think I'm mostly smart, and forgetting to live while reading is pretty not normal.
Can I see how dead they are? Just in my...
Do you think the
Study.
books are cursed? Or that they got trapped here?
I don't think they got trapped here. I don't think the books are cursed. If I were writing the story, either this place in and of itself is cursed, or they were charmed into wanting to only ever read the books and do nothing else, including live. But that's if I were writing the story. I could be wrong.
But that kind of makes sense, though, because that's why they told us not to go further down or further up. If it was a charm thing, aren't elves naturally better at not being charmed? So by us coming down, we're at more danger to ourselves?
I mean, that would make sense, but at the same time, like, look at that guy there. He is at one point was elf.
I am sad that they don't have any valuables on them.
Bayul. Based off your natural necromantic studies and your otherworldly beyond the grave information, they've been dead centuries.
Yeah, these folks have been here hundreds, if not thousands of years. I mean, no matter how long this library has been in existence, these folks have been here maybe as long. But but you said there's like almost a decay on them still? They're not all bone?
It's close to, I don't know the natural way bodies decay, but like, it's old.
But I'm like, they're not brittle like I would assume after that. Okay.
Evan, as you are walking and reading, you're not really paying attention where you're going. You find yourself in a hallway that branches off. With no books, it's just a stone archway leading into another area.
Interesting. I will close my book.
None of y'all know where Evan went, but you are also walking. There are a couple branching hallways as you continue to move. But Evan.
I mean, this looks interesting.
It is.
I'll close my book and head down this hallway.
You hear a sound of a book closing, faintly, the rest of you, with a thud.
Yep. A very decisive, well then, new direction, book away. I do want to take out my little notebook and sketch a small map of where we've been so far. I do have the cartography kit.
Sure, easy.
I have the keen mind, but I don't want to get lost. That would be terrible.
The hallway isn't super long. It maybe like 20 feet. And it opens up to a large semicircle room. And in the center, there is a table with a stone table with chairs. There seems to be some kind of mechanism in the center. This is like a large table. It's kind of like a meeting room table. And a lever.
You had me at mechanism. Going in.
You would have to climb onto the table to get a better look.
Perfectly fine. I will first grab my tinker's tools and then I'll climb onto the table.
Sure. Yeah, it's a couple different circles that can all be simultaneously rotated and moved. There are...
We're talking star system?
We're talking dates. They are old dates before they're not the current dating system.
Yeah, the previous...
It's the previous dating system. And a small lever next to it.
You said there was a lever?
Yeah.
Pull the lever!
Pull the lever, Kronk!
Wait, am I falling down to a pit full of alligators?
Haha, got him!
Wrong lever!
I mean, it was gonna be someone's gonna be Evan, let's be honest.
You pull this lever.
We're not with Evan, right?
No.
Evan. Okay.
I was invisible and I rolled really well on my stealth.
But
sorry.
Excuse me. You pull this lever, and all around you, there's like a little crackling sound. Excuse me, and nothing really comes into existence, but you see flickers of people moving, and you hear the whispers and talking, but nothing solid comes up. Ninette, Izzy, and Bayul, you hear like the sound of whispers and like a staticky crackle from that direction.
I will be a team player. Also, I need bodyguards because I am small and delicate, too young and far too pretty to die. I'm gonna message, I think Izzy.
Your invisibility falls because you cast a spell.
Yep. Perfectly fine. I have more of those. They're what I do. I'm just gonna message Izzy going, "Psst, I found some really cool stuff down this hallway. Come see me. It's Evan. Don't tell the professor. Bring the rest. Kenzie is on follow." And I'm out of words.
So Izzy literally jumps in his skin.
Did you see a mouse?
No, Evan sent me a message and I didn't expect it, so it just startled me is all. We need to go to there. Evan kind of went away, and I don't like where this is going. Let's just go now. We're gonna go, and we're gonna get Evan, and everything's gonna be fine. It'll be all fine. Nothing is wrong. This is totally not the worst idea anyone has ever had. Why am I agreeing with this?
This is taking
Let's
forever.
go.
I'm sending another message, and this time I'm sending it straight to Bayul. What is taking you guys so long? I found a lever. I pulled it. Cool shit happened. Just go down the hallway. Kenzie can smell me. Hurry up!
Nanette is very good at finding people if we need to find Evan, but also Nanette knows that the bird person was going to come speak to me at some point, so he's probably going to wander back up and say, "Where is Nanette? Why is she not here?" And then he will find us if we don't find Evan. And then
Find Evan. I just start walking in the direction. I'm trying to use smell to track, as you said. Was it multiple hallways or just the singular hallway?
There's a couple, but there is one where the sound is coming from louder.
Okay, yeah, we'll go down that way, and I'm gonna make sure that Kinsey is following me.
Kenzie follows.
are there any super special books on the way that we're there?
I already took them.
What are you
Because if
looking
I'm
for?
already carrying contraband, I don't see the reason why I wouldn't carry more.
Is it really contraband, though? I mean,
It hasn't left yet.
I mean, I did
manual.
break the rules at this point.
What are
Yeah.
you looking for?
Oh, that's a
What are
great
you-
question. The sauciest of romance novels. No.
House Club.
I want Daenerys Timora fan fiction.
Oh gosh. You could find some kind of fan fiction, but it would be like on one of the approved levels.
No, I guess no. I don't think Nanette would even care about books, to be honest. She's more in it for the shiny items. But if she found a magical boomerang, yoink.
There are no items like that. It's mostly books. You walk into
What kind of a library is this?
You walk into this area that I described to Evan earlier, and the images of some kind of humanoids crackle, and you hear distorted talking.
I'm gonna approach Evan and just kind of, as I'm looking around, and be like, have you been hearing this the whole time too?
Only way you pull the lever.
And I look at the lever. Can I inspect the lever?
Yoink. Oh, I'm just gonna pull it again as a demonstration.
Yeah, it seems it resets and starts back off where it started again.
What are the voices saying? Can we comprehend them?
Too
Or any of
crackly.
the languages? Too crackling? Okay.
There are a couple cracks on the disc-shaped things that can rotate with the dates, and it's
Can
on.
I fix those?
You can play around with it.
If I use both my Tinker's tools and my mending ability and all that.
It's like broken, as in like cracked, like through the arcane symbols. Like there's also arcane symbols along with dates. On some of them, you would need to spend magical time and
I was about to
energy.
say
Could you cast
certain other.
mending on it?
What was that?
Could you
I was
cast
just.
mending?
Yeah, I do have mending, but I was
Not-
going to ask.
Mending can't be used on magical items.
But I was going to ask Bayul, who used a lot of magic for the wards already, and that worked perfectly fine. If perhaps he had any other, arcane energy swirling about that pretty Loxodon body of his, and maybe he would like to donate some more.
I'm gonna look at it. Can I like, am I getting any magical feel from it? Like, is it really emanating?
Yeah.
Like, just full on. Similar sigils as the ones from outside?
This is illusion.
Okay.
Some kind
It's
of
illusion.
illusions.
And can I try and, since Izzy is a bard and knows storytelling and how people move and stuff, can I roll something to see if he can piece together what he's seeing? Like a general concept of what is going on in the staticky images and stuff?
Roll.
Okay, what am I rolling for? I'm not sure if performance would work.
Just a
Or
general
if-
comprehension, so probably like an intelligence.
Okay.
Or it's perception.
Okay. That's somewhat decent. That's, oh god. Okay, 16 plus, okay, so 20.
Yeah, so just by looking at the images that are staticky and the dials, you can't tell what is being said. It's too broken.
Mhm.
But it looks like if you turn the dials, you can get different images.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I would
yeah.
love to actually do that and just kind of like fiddle with one of the dials gingerly
You begin
to
to
see what happens.
fiddle and rotate to different dates. A lot of them are staticky, period. Some are garbled, some you don't see at all, some don't even bring anything up. But at some point, you hit the gold mine, and you are all suddenly in the middle of this room, and you're not alone. There are people sitting in the chairs. Maybe there's one sitting where Evan is standing on. It's an illusion. They are...
Any bucks are all elves.
Oh no, I activated the plot point.
There are...
You push the red button.
There are probably about a half dozen people in this room. 4 are elves sitting down. There is an elf standing behind an older looking elf. And there's a goblin as well, standing on their chair. And they seem to be talking. Or
They called me short-lived and like goblins in? Bullshit.
It's a great question.
Absolute bullshit.
Can I wave to them?
you can.
Wait, I was being stealthy, wasn't I? Shoot.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
And more.
I will wave to them and I will say hello.
They do not react.
Oh, that is
And
good.
that
because
they're
they
not
were
really
dead.
here.
That is good. I was worried that they were ghosts and that this was a haunted library and everyone who read died and then their spirits were trapped here forever.
I mean,
Is
I
there-
read. I'm not dead.
No, this,
Are you? I will poke them.
I think,
Ow!
Is there anything else happening in the room? Like you said, it's circular, no doors, no anything
No.
else. Nothing else has changed. Okay.
Were you going to say something, Izzy?
I was just going to kind of make a counterpoint to what Nanette was saying. I don't think this is something that's happening now. I think this is how it was.
Like a memory.
What?
Like a
What's the-
memory, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the building's memory.
What's
If
the
that
date
makes
on
sense.
the circles when this happened?
From today, about 900 years ago. Before the bullshit happened with all the planes and a bunch of cities getting teleported here.
I'll point that out to Izzy saying, I mean, look at the dials you turned. This is 900 years ago.
As you are... Oh, go ahead, Bael.
I was just going to say, what are they doing? Are they just interacting with each other? Are they just studying?
Glad you asked. As you're having this conversation, they're all just like... They're not really talking. There's a couple writing like in books and or reading. Every once in a while, the wood elf that's standing behind the high elf, the chair, will eventually sometimes whisper she will whisper into his ear. And at some point, a kobold walks in. Very desert traveled. Sand is like caked into in his cloak, and he shakes it off. And they all look at him as he walks in, and he says, "Yeah, I've got some reports back from some of the other explorers. It looks like the ocean has been receding from the edges of the continent, in a couple different places." And there's a couple concerned murmurs from the group, and they eventually dismiss him. He leaves, and a calm argument breaks out between all of them. What should we do? When should we do this? The goblin is like, we need to get on this. The continent is dying. But it seems like the elves want to gather more information.
Of course they do, they're elves.
And formulate a plan. Because, yeah, fixing it is a great idea. They say to this goblin that they indicate as Grosh. But how? And this argument goes back and forth for a little bit until they all turn and look at the high elf with the other elf standing behind him, looking for his input. He has a sour look on his face and contemplative, and he nods. We need to gather more information. And there's a quick couple talks, and then it loops, and this happens again.
So because they couldn't handle their own continent, they decided to crash a whole bunch of planes into each other and start all this bullshit.
Are we able to leave this room?
Yeah, 100%.
Do any of them happen to look like the professor? Just out of curiosity.
Roll an insight. Or perception.
Nope.
What'd you get?
Are you...
I got a 2.
I was about to ask, any of the voices that we heard in this room, were they in the voices Adriel spoke with? Like, is Adriel the voices of everyone who's ever been and died here?
There are so many voices you would not be able to pick it out.
Then Evan's gonna just take that as a working hypothesis.
Okay.
I rolled a 21 to see if any of the faces look semi-familiar.
Yes. There is a female elf with dark black hair. The nose shape is very similar, and facial structure is similar to Professor Analis.
So I'm no expert, but and Izzy's gonna point to the female elf. She looks a lot like the professor.
And just for all yours reference, elves live much longer in Eatios than what it says in the PHB.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Would the professor just want to come back and investigate because his family's been here? Or maybe he's been here before?
Speaking of the professor,
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun.
if anyone does turn around at any point, the Professor Analis is standing in the doorway.
Oh, would I have noticed them when I went to leave?
I was going to say, would I
Yes.
hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll definitely say.
Evan has no clue. I have a passive perception of 8.
They're pretty high.
He looks kind of. He looks like he's been here through at least one iteration of this loop. And he's like staring at the elf that made the final decision with the woman behind him at the chair. And he kind of like walks past all of you and slams his hands on the door. Just seeming to talk at this illusion. Almost under his breath, you can hear him like growling at this man. Where is your journal? Dartus.
So I can hear this. Does he give her a
What's
name?
that last name?
He says Mindartus Amakir to this man.
Darkness. And this was the dead body we found earlier?
Nope. This is one of
No.
the illusions.
Okay. Okay. So does he look like he's noticed me?
You stopped being stealthy a while ago.
Oh no.
We all did.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, my question was that does he look like he's enthralled by something, like driven to this thing?
He's
Or does
like
it
he's
look like
distra-
he's
he is
actively-
distracted. He is distracted. He is ignoring all of you and just like furiously staring at this illusion.
Okay. Well, I'm supposed to keep him safe, but it looks like he's a little preoccupied, so I am going to cover his eyes.
I was gonna say, can Evan sort of like whoop, come up between the professor and just stand in the illusion and go, "Hello."
What do you want, Bembridge? And you
Oh,
wait, do
you
you
remembered
literally
my last name.
do you literally cover like his eyes? Like
Oh,
peekaboo?
no, well, I wouldn't touch him, but like put it in front of him and I'd be like, Nanette was just making sure that you weren't enthralled by an item or by the illusions. So
He pushes you off. Let go.
that is okay.
How
That is
kind of you
deserved.
to join us. I discovered this. I'll
Did you
be
did
writing
you
it
see
up
all
for
the dead bodies?
university.
Yes, I saw all the dead bodies.
This place is filled with death. It's just
Yeah.
emanating.
Yeah.
Are we in agreement that this is a bad place to be?
No.
How was your talk with Adriel?
It was fine.
Livid one.
Was
Are
there
you looking
anything
forward to
interesting?
becoming a desiccated corpse?
Jeez.
I'm looking forward to you becoming a desiccated
What?
corpse.
That is not
Shut
very nice
up.
to say, Evan.
Shut up, Bembridge.
What? He'll be gorgeous.
I'm just keeping
Not
my
find
eyes
this
on
table
everything.
on
Was there
your own?
anything else in this room?
Why don't
A
you go
journal?
look? You're the smart one.
I can look for a journal. Do you know what it would look like?
It's a journal. It has writing. It was written by that.
But is it a black journal, a brown journal? Does it have a name written on
Oh
it?
my god. Oh,
These are I am in a library full of books, and a lot of them look very similar.
forget it.
Very-
Forget it. And he turns around and
I'm gonna follow him.
walks out.
Like,
Yeah, no, we're with it.
I would
with
actually
him.
like to look for anything that looks remotely journal-like. Izzy assumes that most journals are somewhat the same, so they tend to be not as, not well put together, but they tend to be more haberdashed than like a
Can I
professional
assist?
book.
Can I assist Izzy in their quest to find the journal?
You followed Professor.
Oh, that's fair. How many? Did they ever say how tall this thing goes?
The Spire?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
But
So we've only gone down.
Izzy, this room is fairly empty.
Okay.
You do not see anything.
Okay.
Are you following the rest of the group, or Bayul, what are you doing?
I am on the professor's tails. I'm trying to get his attention. Be like, Professor, we need to talk. This is vital information for the university. What have you found? What can you share with us? Please help us and let us share with you.
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay, when she ever
Izzy-
shared anything.
Izzy is going to write down the general gist of what this memory contains and who said what before venturing back out to find the others. So he'd probably be the last one to leave.
I'm going to try and be sneaky.
Roll stealth, and what'd you get, Bayul?
11.
I can flash my genius at you and make it a 16.
That's a 25 stealth.
You're stealthy as fuck.
And I'm going ahead of them now because
Sure.
I don't want them to get caught by Birdman.
Sure.
But also, if there's cool items, that way Evan doesn't take them first.
Like a few books.
He just stares at you, Bayul. What I am looking for is none of your business. Nanette,
See? Elves don't share.
as you were walking up, you do see a lot of congregations of these birds. You do not see the bodies at the tables. You also, looking over as you are going up, and like maybe like down the ramps and the staircases, you see Adriel he seems to be bristling. The fur and the feathers are standing up. And sorry, one sec. And Bayul and Nanette notice this first, though everyone notices it after a moment. Bayul because you came from a very cold climate, and Nanette because you like the heat. The heat is increasing, and you all hear a booming voice of thousands of voices from Adriel. You were told to not wander.
Do any of the birds look like they've seen me?
Yes.
Oh, so they can see me. Well, that is... What is the point of being stealthy? They are magic birds.
And
there are lots of them. Okay, so this is a bad idea. Maybe we should leave before we can't, because there were only like 20 feet left of the spire. So I am going to assume that we are going to sink.
from between the shelves, you see the bodies of all these elves.
Are they undead?
Yes, they are undead. And they begin to congregate. If you stayed put, we would not have had to deal with this. And he turns and begins to dash.
Look, if you hadn't been rude, you used to have kobolds and goblins in here. When did you become discriminatory?
We needed to collect our friend. There's no other way.
No one's listening to you in terms of NPCs.
Absolutely.
When you said he
how
dashes,
close are
did you
the
mean
zombies?
Adriel dashed?
Adriel dashed?
Adriel's still at the bottom.
Okay.
But the professor did.
Is he dashing up or down?
He is dashing up.
Right.
And these suddenly from all the zombies begin to converge and the temperature gets really warm. Uncomfortable.
I'm gonna cast hold person on the professor.
Yes.
Wait, why? No. Oh, man, he has the right idea to run away. I am
Stop leaving us
going...
behind. Get him on Kenzie.
We are going into a skill challenge
Oh, goodness.
on what we are going to do. As these heat waves of heat begin to appear in the air, and you are being converged upon by undead.
Did I make it onto Kenzie before we started this?
We can say you are on Kenzie.
Okay.
I would like to use perception to navigate the fastest route away from zombies.
Sure.
How are the zombies are just converging on us, and we're trying to run up this to the
tell
next
me.
thing? I think.
Are you running?
Sure, we could run down.
Well, I'm trying to get an idea of where we are currently
Yes.
versus where we need to go.
You are several floors below the entrance to the spire.
Okay.
So if I cast hold person, I mean, does it succeed? I'm assuming.
We can say you get that off.
Okay.
What kind of saving throw is it?
It is my spell save DC is 15.
Nope. He stops in place.
Okay. Yeah, it's a wisdom, so
He stops in place in his house.
stops in place. Okay, I'm going to, as we're moving, because I feel like we're all in agreement, we're going to move away from the death behind us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to scoop up his parallel's body, and I'm going to carry him with me.
Well, he was heading up, so
Oh, well, yeah, fair enough, but he's staying with me.
we'll do that on your turn. But Nanette, what was your perception check?
26.
Yes, the fastest way is. You think you could do this? Would be to climb. But not everyone else would be able to. Literally doing so would just... The fastest way is going up this ramp. But you are able to quickly, with your keen kitty eyes, point out to everyone else when, like, a bird comes to swoop at you. Or when a zombie is about to grab at you, you're able to give them that warning to not get caught.
Okay.
We can go in any order for...
Can I bonus action bless?
You may.
Can I bonus action bless Izzy, Evan, and Balur? Not Balur.
Bayul?
Bayul.
You
Baloo?
may.
Nanette is not great with names.
But yes.
Baloo's
so
my cousin.
Yeah, so I will bless all three of them with a upcasted level 2 bless.
Okay. Cool.
Can
And I guess it applies to myself as well, because I get one additional target.
Yep.
So.
I'm doubting because I have something that only helps me, and Evan is all about himself. But I did I mean, if Izzy gets hurt and I have to tell Rathir they're going to cry, it'll be a big thing. It'll be terrible. I can't let that happen. Gotta help everyone, or at least Izzy. Can I, if any of the zombies get too close while we're running, can I grab my alchemy jug and just sort of flower girl acid around? Because it can make a ridiculous amount of acid.
You can roll an attack roll to see if you can just splash acid on these things.
And that would be a ranged attack because I'm splashing?
Sure.
Perfect. Much better at ranged. Oh, good. I don't know. I can't do math. 23? 17, I think.
You are able to splash these things, and as some of them are splattered with acid, they recoil.
Excellent. It does 46 according to my...
There's a horde. We'll say several.
It divides among them.
Yeah, and some of them they're prevented from grabbing you.
Exactly. I don't need them to die. I just like hands and arms. Just hands and arms.
Stay out of my personal bubble, please.
Exactly.
That would be a cool spell. Bubble of acid.
Ooh.
To be fair, Sanctuary was Plan B, but that's just me again. So I'm
How close is
helping.
it?
I'm helping.
What was that?
Acid rain, literally.
How close are the undead?
It depends on how close they are to you, and
Okay.
It varies as you are running, and they are coming up from the sides and from behind, and like some are meeting up you off at the pass. They're kind of everywhere.
So the way up into the next level, I'm assuming it's stairs.
It's a ramp.
It's a ramp?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it like enclosed on either side and just ramps down, or is it an open ramp on one side?
It's an open ramp on one side, wall on the other.
Okay. All right. Cool. That's fine. When we get to the ramp, Izzy's going to take out his wand. Well, actually, he never put away his wand, actually. So he's going to grab his wand and he's going to point from the floor behind us, and then to the wall. And he's going to cast web to create a wall of web that the zombos now have to get through and walk through.
Make a spellcasting check with your spellcasting ability modifier to see if you can time this correctly as you are dashing away and are able to arrange it correctly.
Oh, I love these dice so much. So it's a 21.
And you have blessed. You could make it to 25.
Oh, that's true?
The webs shoot out from your wand and immediately cover from one side to the other, blocking the path behind you. You see a bunch of these zombies get caught up. They are slowed because there are a bunch being pushing them through, so they will break through. Bayul, you pick up the professor.
Pick up, and I want to go as high as I can, but I want to get to a point where I can stop, and I want to still be able to see within 60 feet of all the undead trying to gain on us.
Mm-hmm.
I want to, with my other hand, I'm going to slam my staff down and cast Toll the Dead. Just a big. It's not an elephant like screech, but it's like a bell, and just the most eruption noise just goes right down to the below us.
Normally this is a saving throw, but we're doing skill challenges, so let's do a spellcasting ability check to see how powerful this is.
Okay, so just roll out of my spellcasting mod.
Yeah, please.
22.
Several more of these undead fall as this large bellowing bell echoes throughout this spire. The heat increases again, and you all feel like a slight shudder as it's not the beat of wings, but it's more like claws digging into stone as this creature named Adriel begins to climb up the inner side of everything, of the spire, and a face like appears and just seems to jut off and snap at you. Everybody roll me a Constitution saving throw.
my save? +4. Oh, but I have a +1 on
Set a
save.
save, right?
Yes.
I'm blessed, right? I get a D4 on saves as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sweet.
Nice.
22 again.
Thank you for the bless.
Yeah.
You're welcome. It saved me too. I got a 17.
Dirty 20.
19, 25.
Nanette, you take full damage. 9.
9 damage.
Of fire damage as this heat just seeps into you, and it's unbearable. Everyone else takes half for 4. The professor breaks out.
Professor is held person.
He breaks out of your held, and he's like, "Release me, Loxodon."
I'm holding on to him. Like, I'll just hold him. He can try to break my grasp if he wants to.
And he will kind of like rummage back and grab like a book and hold it aloft. And words fly out of the page and seem to slam into some of the undead. And like the nearest ones turn tail and flee.
Oh.
Still don't like him, but
Being said, it does make sense that I got hit first because I was climbing.
You also need to make a Constitution saving throw for your bless spell.
Oh.
Maintain concentration. That was an excellent +3.
Well, you only get to use it once, right?
I think it's for the duration, I thought.
Oh yeah.
No,
that's like
you're
12
rolling-
total.
You make the
You're
save.
good.
Yeah. You have several successes. What are you doing as this heat? And you actually kind of see, like, in between the veils of... Let's see. You all have experience in planar shenanigans. This spire seems to not be completely in the material. You
No.
see
I don't
flames flickering
Is
along
there
the
a bird near me?
bookshelves. Yeah, there's a bird near you.
Can I
you
catch a
have plane
bird
shift
and I'm gonna
yet?
take it with me?
You're gonna try and grab one?
Yeah, I'm gonna like leap up, grab a bird, and I'm gonna run towards the exit.
Okay, make a grapple check.
All right. Good thing I got that bless still. Okay, and that is what? A grapple check is that just a regular attack?
It's
Acrobatics?
athletics for you.
Okay, so that's a 19 plus 2, 21.
You are easily able to grab this bird. It
Okay.
squawks.
I like to imagine it's the bird that I talked to earlier.
Sure. Nanette can believe what she
and-
wants.
Yeah, and I am going to like fold its wings so it can't fly away and can't bite me like the way I hold it. And this is my new friend now, and he's going to at least stay on the material plane.
But you're becoming a zoo. You already have an aquarium.
Hey, you know what?
That's fine.
Hey,
Yeah.
honestly, Evan can't judge you. I have a bag full of
Books.
hopefully.
Everyone has
hopefully.
aspirations.
Yeah.
But
So now I
there's
have
nothing
my
wrong with a
friends.
city-sized cat.
What? Who's next?
Am I still holding on to him?
Yeah.
Has he not tried to break the
He hasn't
grasp?
tried to
Okay.
break through. He did something with his book.
Okay. I'm going to look out. And how close is Adriel to us? Are we up on the
Like
next level
within
up?
30 feet.
Okay, I'm going to look at the professor and be like, we need to get out of here
Yeah,
before we all
no
die.
shit.
So I'm going to put you down, and you're going to work with us.
Yeah, no shit. I don't want to die.
And I'm going to set him down,
He runs.
and he's going to run. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming we're all running.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we're gonna keep moving, but I want to cast Ray of Frost towards any hot areas. Like you said, there's flames coming up.
It doesn't seem to be harming the books, but yes.
Okay,
There are-
I want to chill areas so when people come by, it's a lot cooler as they run by.
Ooh, I like that. Roll a attack.
19 plus 7, 26.
Yes, you're able to kind of anticipate the fire as you're able to dampen it so no one gets any damage as they run by.
And you see, as if anyone notices, all of the runes, different runes on my tusk start to glow blue as I start casting the ice spells.
How large is the ramp, and how large is the door? We said Kenzie currently fits through.
Yeah, he can fit. It's the ramp
Let's
is
say-
like 10 foot wide.
So if I were to enlarge him,
It'd be awkward. Then he wouldn't fit through the door.
Was Kenzie fast, or I mean?
Kenzie's 40 foot around.
Okay.
He is
okay.
fast.
I was about to offer Izzy a ride.
Izzy or Evan, what would you like to do?
I think I could wait. I'm just. I am gonna offer Izzy. You want to ride?
That would be nice, but I think I need to make sure that I keep webbing things. I can't.
Oh, you
web
can whip
from
from
behind
back
me.
there.
Can I ride while sitting backwards?
Yeah.
Ah!
There's a platform. One hand on the saddle and one hand on your wand, and that is not a euphemism.
What's it? Oh, yeah. Yep. I'm
It's
just gonna ignore that, and I'm gonna climb up on your big cat monster thing, and let's do this.
Not a monster. It's a construct.
Are you rolling? Are you webbing again?
Yes, specifically, I would like to use one of the charges to web Adriel's eyes.
Ooh,
Yes.
Go for
exactly
it.
right there.
Ooh.
Same
Well,
thing. Just
Yeah,
a-
same thing.
Okay.
As he's doing that,
Come on,
or
don't fall
right
off.
after he does that,
Oh, that's not bad.
do you need a +5? Do you have a
I
D4?
don't think so, because that's a dirty 20.
Yeah. You are able to spit this web in Adriel's eyes and he screeches. And you all hear the yelling of hundreds of voices, many of them cursing in Elven.
Figures. After I hear this, and Izzy is successfully webbed from behind me, I'm assuming Bayou and the professor are well on their way. Can I feel really bad for Nanette, but I'm gonna do it anyway because Evan's gonna live. If Kenzie pounces on something, I get extra movement. Can I tell Kenzie to pounce on Nanette's bird? So I get the extra 20 foot?
You can't because it's Nanette's. It's sharing a swear with Nanette. You'd be pouncing.
In that case, I am perfectly willing to pounce on both of them.
Are you okay with this because it's PvP?
I prefer not to die.
I mean,
But,
it's not an attack. You just have to roll a strength save to see if you stay up.
Oh, what's the strength DC?
Well,
I don't know what your strength
actually,
is.
Nanette, what's your move speed?
My move speed naturally is a whole whopping 40 feet, and then I have the additional tabaxi feet.
You cannot because you have all been traveling at the same pace, and you are neck and neck with Nanette.
I thought she was way ahead of me, grabbing birds left and right.
You are both traveling at the same speed.
I am moderately disappointed in that. I thought she'd be faster.
It was more like Net got a head start and then took a small moment to grab the bird, and that allowed you to catch up.
Yep.
Yeah,
That was
well,
my
I
goal.
had to grab. I had a small moment where I had to grab a half orc because otherwise Rafir is going to cry.
You didn't have to grab him. He hopped up.
You are almost at the door, all of you.
I'm just gonna.
Is Adriel hidden behind us, like still behind us?
He's like, yeah, he's kind of near.
There's webs in his
He's
eyes.
like between 20 and 30 feet away, screeching.
I'm just gonna start throwing stuff behind me at zombies. Like there's a miner's pick that's going, there's a shovel coming out of a bag that's being thrown, there's an additional non-magical lantern that's getting thrown.
Roll to attack.
I'm just throwing everything I have, man.
Y'all are rolling so good.
I know.
Oh, that just ended. I do it.
Bless, you have
On
bless.
attack rolls as well. Oh, this is terrible. 14.
It's
Great
not-
points from everywhere. Can I flash genius at myself?
I don't know
I think I
what's
got a
flash.
+5.
What's flash genius?
At 7th level, you gain the ability to come up with solutions under pressure. Oh, when you or another creature you can see within 30 feet of you, you can use your reaction to add your intelligence modifier to your roll.
You may.
I'm just that smart.
How do you use your flash genius to make this a success?
I think at some point, as I'm randomly throwing stuff, I grab like the pickaxe, and it reminds me of aerodynamics and how I've been throwing it all wrong. It's like, no, wait. I have to throw from the handle!
The You throw all this stuff with the correct aerodynamic, in the most aerodynamically possible way, so it sails and it begins like, it's either whether it's hitting or trying to trip them up, it does so.
Like between the legs, so they start falling.
Some stumbling, running over each other, and you're all able to make one more Constitution saving throw.
No.
Oh no.
We still have blast.
We still have blast.
22.
18.
That was for all of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 15.
14.
Whoever got a 20 or higher takes 6. Everyone else takes 12 fire damage. But you run out this entrance where the temperature actually drops as you run into the desert from the inside of the inside, and almost this Adriel creature is right from behind you and its head seems to try and leave this spire, but it hits some kind of barrier and it screeches at you. And if you look through, he's still bracing himself against the floor, and the spire itself slowly fades away.
Whoa. Are we on that? Do we go across the platform to the sand?
You have to climb up because there's...
Good thing we have this
Up.
rope.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now you're just on a circular platform, and there is no more spire.
Circular platform.
Is that rope still dangling from above?
It is.
The ramp is gone, correct?
Ramp's gone.
I will grab the rope and I'll start climbing.
I'm going to... I think I'm just going to do it. I'm going to polymorph into a giant eagle. And just as a precautionary, I'm going to say, in case anyone falls, or I can take you one at a time.
What size is Giant Eagle?
Giant eagle is large. I believe. Let me double check.
I believe it is. Yeah, it is.
Large, okay.
I will say with enough finagling and just moving around in some creative solutions, we can get everyone up there, including Kenzie.
I don't want to make things harder on everyone who isn't the professor, so I will cast Reduce on Kenzie.
Perfect.
So he is halved in all dimensions, and its weight is reduced to 1/8 of normal. So.
And with that,
Cute little kitty.
if Bayul wanted to grab Kenzie and bring him up, that's possible.
Yeah, I'd want to bring everyone up. Hopefully that we see the carriage. Was there a driver?
Yeah, there was a driver.
Okay.
He was just
He was
kind of
like
instructed. He's
staring
he's
at
kind of staring, like he's probably like eating some food, like a lunchbox, and is just kind of staring at where the tower was.
Well, hello, good man. Wondrous of you to wait for us.
I want to, as soon as we land, and I want to take the professor last, because as I land, I want to revert back, and as I drop him, I want to stand over him, and I'm going to tell you, like, what was that about?
What was what about?
Why were you, the whole scene in the room with the memories, what was that about? You knew that person.
Are you like standing over him intimidating?
Oh, I'm intimidating. Oh, I am
Roll.
intimidating with a intimidation. Well, -1, so it'll be a 16.
Can I assist in the intimidation by dropping the Reduce on Kenzie?
You may.
I shall.
You can roll again
Sit.
with an advantage.
Yeah. 19 -1, so 18, so a little bit better.
We will talk when we are back at the university.
That
We have a
means he's never
long-
going to tell you.
No,
We have a long ride home.
we are going to talk now, okay?
And
I
I'm gonna look
have been shot with fire. I have been accosted by the undead. I have repeatedly said bad ideas were being made, and then nobody
Sorry.
listened. Now it's time for you to listen to the person who said it would happen. Okay? Okay. What was that?
Yeah.
Why was that? And why were you after it?
I suddenly understand what Rathier sees in you.
Wait, Rathier
She's
sees
going
something
through
in
that
me?
tirade, Nanette's just picking her teeth with the planter fork.
No, not the fork.
I love this.
Oh God, no, Nanette, no!
It is mine. I found it.
Don't use it on your teeth.
It is magic. It's not gonna
Careful with that.
You might end up in a different plane. Don't do that.
My grandmother used to tell me stories about before this. And he motions to the gone Spire and other planes. She told me about a colleague she used to work with who was intimately involved in making what the world is today. And I am looking for his research notes.
What's in these research notes that you're really in dire straits to find, if you don't mind sharing? And I'll back off a little bit.
I just want the
And
knowledge of
Try to pull 'em
why
up.
the world it is today.
So
Haven't you
were you were
wondered
looking
why?
for how to fix it. You were looking to see what they thought they were doing. You're not looking for knowledge to fix things. You're looking for knowledge's sake. Take
Yes.
it from me. That is the worst idea you could ever come up with.
Are we all in agreement? Nanette thinks that even if you had found this knowledge, you weren't going to get to leave with it, and you probably would have ended up a corpse like the other people at the table.
Yem,
Yes.
are the books still in my bag?
Yeah, they are. If any of you put books in your bag, there are books in your bag.
The rask-sized cat, here I come.
Whether you agree with me not, Mr. Iron Chest. That
It's
is
not about agreement, you obnoxious.
What is he?
I'm gonna pat
Get the
Izzy. I'm
word
gonna
out.
put my arm around Izzy and be like, absolutely.
In the stories, it's always ambition and greed that causes the problem, and you let that blind you to the point where it didn't just put you in danger, it put everyone else in danger too. Because you just couldn't learn from the past. You couldn't listen to the stories and learn.
Evan
This
is
is
so
why
happy you're mad at
People
him.
like me make the stories so you will learn from them.
Can I look over to my bird friend?
It's squawking, trying to get out.
So they can say words and talk,
No, they can't.
right?
No,
they
Not
can't.
anymore. They're
Not
weak
anymore.
channel.
Well,
It squawks
on
at
the
you.
bright side, we have a bird.
I have a few books.
Anyway,
I have a fork.
whether you decide to join me back at the university is up to you, but I am going home.
Well, one thing we don't
Consider-
have anymore is a spire arising from the sands.
Well, whose fault is
Professor.
that?
Excuse
Well,
me,
if you had told
Professor.
us why we were going there in the first place, this wouldn't have happened.
If you
Yes.
listened to Adriel and stayed put, he
You-
wouldn't have gotten mad.
No.
But
Okay, so
then
the
you might
question
have
I've
died
asked
in a lower
Adriel,
level and we wouldn't have been stuck there.
the question we asked Adriel that was not answered, which is part of the reason that we disobeyed him, honestly, because he was being very evasive. Why only elves? You racist assholes. When you saw that memory, there were kobolds, there were goblins. You weren't always dicks. What changed?
It's just a society I knew my grandmother was a part of. I don't know what their deal was.
I'm
I don't-
134. You're telling me your grandmother would have disliked me because I'm too young and I'm gonna die in 3 centuries?
I knew her for a couple years. And by a couple, I mean elven equivalent of. I don't
Oh,
know.
I'm so sorry. We're not as long-lived, your majestiness.
Nanette is going to wait in the carriage.
You're gonna nap in the carriage, you mean? You steal my stuff, I will end
I will
you.
go to the rope and I'm going to cut off at least as much as I can to get back.
50 foot of that is mine.
Well, we're probably going to get like 15. Maybe. But that is okay. Because the rope saved our lives. So really, you're welcome.
Technically, I think the bird saved me.
The professor.
What? Is there a top to the carriage?
Yeah.
I've had enough of him, and I've reached my stress point for the day. Can someone help me get him on top, please?
Kenzie
Pointing at the
could.
professor.
No, he will hold out his book. He will not touch me. We are going to go back to the university, and we
I'm
will
not going to touch you.
We are not.
Lift Izzy up onto the roof.
And he will head back into the carriage, taking the farthest corner from all of you.
Okay.
So this is a hired carriage, right?
This is a hired carriage, correct?
When he
Outbreak.
does, since Izzy didn't get his way with that, Izzy is a clever boy. He's going to walk past, look at the professor, and immediately just go, stick him, and then web him to the wall.
Perfect.
What is the saving throw to get out of... Well, he was not expecting this, so you web him. But so he's like this for a little bit, but he refuses to talk to you the entire trip back.
That's fine, because Izzy is going to spend the entire time singing happy songs. Loudly.
Evan, are you going back to the university, or what are you doing? As we begin to conclude.
I mean, I have notes for Rathier, and I have the feeling it's probably important I deliver a number of these notes before the professor gets the chance to twist absolutely everything into pieces. So yes, I will. If I cast Expeditious Retreat on Kenzie, are we there faster than the Greyhound? And or can I bribe the Greyhound coach to go a little slower so I can get there ahead of them?
You can do that one.
Great. I'll chuck him 50 gold. I'll say, I know you had a really tough time waiting here, so just take your time on the way back.
Tips his hat.
I'll wave goodbye to everyone. You see Evan standing on his platform with his little parasol, holding a llama plushie with a little bonnet that helps him heal because he took fire damage. So he's just gonna use the plushie to feel himself 2d6 better. And holding his plushie, he will look astride across the desert and go, see you later, losers. I'll be off.
You all go back.
I just wave.
Bye.
It takes like one
Goodbye,
more
little
day.
mom.
It takes like one more day longer because you're slowed a bit to get back to the university. So maybe like 4 days go by.
I'll spend that time unpeeling the elf and talking nonstop.
Perfect.
To them.
We head back, and Professor Inalis goes off on his own he has an office that he shares with his twin brother to do his own work.
Does he want the bird?
No, I don't want a bird. And he leaves.
It's a bird for
You
the
want
library.
another song?
Oh, I know,
He
and I'll give
gives
him a
you the middle
feather
finger
of
as he walks
knowledge.
off, Izzy.
Oh, can I give him? This is a feather from the thing you could scry because the words are broken. So you
Goodbye.
can find the library again.
Goodbye.
Okay, then I will scry on it later, maybe one day.
Did
when
I
learn.
give Rathier enough information and a bit of a head start that she can snipe the publication? Because I really want Rathier to publish before Analis does.
We'll get to that. Bayul, what are you doing as you get back to the university?
I'm going to, I'd like to find Professor Rathier and give my tale as well. Having been able to take this mission on, I feel obligated to say everything that I took in, and with my memory, I'd be able to regurgitate fairly lengthy.
What happens is Izzy and Bayul, you get to the university at the same time. Evan, you get there a little before them, not too much longer, and Rathier's not the only person that you know at the university. There's a couple people that kind of stop you and say, hi, how are you? And you kind of get waylaid a little back, so you're actually coming up to the office the same time as Izzy and Bayul.
Okay.
You are in front of her office. She does not have a surname. It just says Rathier.
I'd like to knock and see if I can come listen from in.
Evan just walks in with Kenzie. Evan assumes
okay.
Rathir will be happy to see him at any point in time.
The office is empty.
Is there any sign of scuffle, or is it as is like a normal office?
It's a regular. She's always been like organized clutter.
Yeah, but not like a blood stain where Analis offed her before we came back.
No.
Never know. Note, diary, calendar, journal, planner, assistant.
Yeah, I'd like to look around and see if there's anything.
She has a planner. It's on her desk.
Is it?
Regular. She teaches classes. She had a class this morning. She has a couple meetings scheduled over she has this month planned out.
Nowish?
No, nothing
Yeah,
planned.
right now.
Nothing
Okay.
planned for now.
Is there any other common area that we would know that she would be?
There's teachers' lounges.
Yeah, something like that. I would just, once we're not seeing her, I'm going to go find the nearest teacher's lounge and
Izzy, what are you
poke my
doing?
head in.
Seeing that she's not there, Izzy's just gonna kind of take a look around and see what she might have. Just curious, what was she up to while I was gone?
The most curious thing you notice, you did see this before you left.
Mm-hmm.
That letter is the same letter she was writing when you left, and it is unfinished.
Can I read that letter?
It just seems a correspondence to another professor.
Mm-hmm.
You are all able to look around and ask teachers, and no one has seen Rathir for a week. She has missed all her classes.
Oh boy.
And that's where we're going to call it. Anyway, hi everybody.
Wow.
Well, thank you so much for watching Ruins of Eatios, the Forgotten Spire. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
We'll start our sign-offs after I put on some music that's a little more happy.
How could you do this to Rathir and Izzy? I wanted a happy ending.
Oh.
I mean, the happy ending is I'm one step closer to a flying boat.
And
Yeah.
the happy ending is that I'm a number of books closer to a city-sized cat construct.
That's true.
Anyway, hi, I'm Mare. You can find me on Twitter at Archmage of Dice. I also play on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central on Invisible Sun. Next week is our finale. And then after that is a fourth watch. So please come join us. It's going to be heartbreaking and it's going to be great. And then send your questions to Pixelcat or Daxara. You can also find me on Fridays at 6 p.m. Central in the Elder Scrolls Sunsets on Summer game, playing Cat Emberheart. My favorite part of this session, I've played with Izzy before, and I loved seeing you get pissed. That was great. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. My name's Taldoz, or Tal. You can find me at Twitter at TALDOZ #1. I am a fantasy cartographer, and I kind of just doodle things, and I like to make funny voices and create characters in my spare time because sometimes it's just a lot of fun. I am also a wealth of Star Wars trivia knowledge, as anyone can attest. I usually quote it at least 20 times per hour.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing tonight was most definitely probably the description of the the security recording. Essentially, that entire scene was just wonderful.
I can go.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. I'm Rob. I'm on Twitter at nerding_onward. I'm also on our Discord for Open for Adventure, as they call me Rob. Very clever. Apologies for all the tech stuff earlier, but I'm glad I got to be part of it. It was my first stream game, and this was awesome overall. Really, the whole thing was great, but I got to say, Izzy's coming to power and rant towards the professor. The best.
Hi, I'm Graham, or Graham Crackers. You can find me next Saturday at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time at Stalwart Initiative, playing in the Ventures in the Verse, DM'd by Derek Sword. In the Dark Matter campaign setting. You can find me on Fridays on my own channel, Twitch TV/Graham Crackers at 8 to 10:30 Eastern Standard PM in the Goldshine Investigations campaign. Otherwise, you can find me on various games on Open for Adventure occasionally. Man, as for my favorite part, there were so many. I think that my favorite part of today's campaign was just the professor going on his rant of how we ruined everything.
Yeah.
Just so heartfelt. Because we did ruin everything. That's my favorite.
I think that leaves me. My name is Aniek. You can find me on Twitter at Aniekster. I am on Welcome to the Party RPG for the next few Mondays, finishing off a Ryutama campaign, which is just entirely cute and wholesome. Other than that, I'm not on anything for a while, but there are certain plots and plans for Open for Adventure where I will be running and playing and being a general nuisance everywhere. Favorite part, I think Nanette being completely and entirely torn on stealing what may or may not be in that box, and just me as a player instantly knowing there was a tuning fork for plane shift, and then that just started going, that's a fork, I'm gonna pick my teeth with it. Oh, it just killed me. It was perfect. I loved it.
Beautiful. And all of these lovely reminiscings has made me feel warm and fuzzy. So we got our warm fuzzies. We've got Bel Chavez. We've got we've got Christina. We've got Sev. Quincy. We've got Andrew. What? Andrew Fellowship Tables. The Bay of Gifts. Bay of Gifts. We've got Gamer Lives with a 1 to 3.
Gamer Lives.
We've got Mitch D. Mitch. And we've got Orion Skyrender.
Orion.
So once again, thank you everybody for joining us. And always remember to love each other. And we will see you. Next stream game we've got on the channel is tomorrow, Sunday, friends, at 3 p.m. Central. So we'll see you then. Hearts and love.
Love, peace, understanding, Eurovision, etc.